This is the Discover Cars Countdown to 3 as we get ready to go racing.
It is the world's most famous stage for speed. Size doesn't make it the biggest, but time has. Statuesque in silence, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway wakes from a summer slumber to welcome racing's most colorful stars back to the Brickyard. Today, the four most famous words in racing meet the four most famous letters in racing. Gentlemen, start your engines at Indy. 10 years of heartbreak, of heartthrobs. 10 years of hope. 10 years of racing heroes. The only sound louder than the roar of Indianapolis is the quiet of intimidation. This is where racers run fast and winners stand tall. When it comes to the Brickyard, it's a thrill to say you were here. But it's an honor to say you were here.
Anything we can do that Dale Earnhardt did is an accomplishment.
Here is your ticket to watch NASCAR's newest name join racing's oldest roster. Winner at Indianapolis. For one day, for 400 miles, the points and the money don't matter. Today, all any racer really wants is a kiss. It is time for the 11th running of the Brickyard 400, presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil Retailers, live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. Every sport has one venue that rises above all others. The colors are brighter, the seats better, the atmosphere bigger, and the history more brilliant. In motorsports, that place is this place, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hi, everybody. Our NBC Race family welcomes you to the Brickyard. I'm Bill Weber. 6 events remain in the race to the chase for the Nextel Cup, but nobody out there on pit road really cares. Sure, points are always important, but today, not nearly as important as saying, we won at Indianapolis. Last week, next week, you count your points. You win this week, you count your blessings. Let's get right to the stars and the stories. Here's Dave Burns.
Bill, 13 years ago, Rick Mears won the 4th of his Indianapolis 500 victories. This is his nephew, Casey, son of Roger and Carol. He drives a stock car, fast. And Casey, you're the fastest qualifier for this race. What are the emotions as you get a chance to put the Mears gang back in victory lane here?
It's unbelievable. You know, I was really nervous about qualifying because I knew we had a really good shot. We got a really good shot at the race, but, you know, you just got to do the best job you can and just tune the car the best you can. And like Uncle Rick said, you know, just be there at the end and be tuned right at the end. You know, make sure that last stop is the stop that gets the car just right and you're ready to go. So, you know, hopefully hold the name up proud today and go out and have some fun.
He will lead these 43 cars to the green flag today. To Matt Yoakum.
In 9+ decades of racing here at the Brickyard, 9 drivers from the state of Indiana have gone to victory lane today. South Bend's Ryan Newman will try to make it 10. What does this place and this race mean to you, Ryan?
Well, it's obviously a very historical, legendary place. I mean, I won't think about a win here until I'm sitting in a rocking chair retired and can think about it then. I mean, I treat every race like it's a potential victory. So we'll see what we can do today in the Altel Dodge, and you know, hopefully we can be talking about it later.
His owner, Roger Penske, has 13 Indy 500 victories. A win today would make the captain the only owner to score wins in the month of May and August. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, one of Indiana's favorite sons, 33-year-old Jeff Gordon, who had a birthday on Wednesday, and you could put yourself in some high horsepower category today with 4 wins at Indianapolis. You could tie A.J. Foyt, Rick Mears, and Alan Sr. What would that mean to you?
Well, I don't necessarily consider you know, what we do here with the Brickyard 400. I don't know if it necessarily compares to what those guys done in the Indy 500, but very proud of the 3 wins that we have and proud of this race team, what we've got, you know, in store for us today. You know, having this opportunity to come here and go for number 4. the team's been on a roll, and we're having a blast. Chemistry's there. Race cars have been phenomenal, and just have to try to beat our teammate, it seems like, here lately. But a lot of stiff competition here today, tricky racetrack, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a heck of a challenge. I think we've got a great shot at it.
All told, there are 4 Hoosier natives in the field today, and they're all glad to be back home in Indiana, especially Tony Stewart.
I started racing 25 years ago, just a few miles from here. The Brickyard is my backyard. It's the race I want to win. 25 years, one thing left. For me, it's racing at home.
And it's a pleasure to welcome Tony Stewart to the wagon here at the Brickyard. How badly do you want it?
I wasn't real nervous till I sat here and had to listen to that intro, but no, I mean, everybody, there's 4 of us from Indiana, and we all know what, the Brickyard means to all of us, and have known what the Indy 500's meant to us. And all you got to do is look up in the stands and see all the 20 hats and Home Depot shirts and stuff this year. So it pretty much tells the story on its own.
When you do look and see the fans here, Tony, the fans that cheered you during driver introductions, does it inspire you? Do you get emotional about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of them, especially in this area, these are people that watched me in 3/4 midgets at Rushville, or watched me in full midgets and sprint cars in USAC, and, followed my career through the IRL. So these are people that know me, know my life, and know my passion to win here.
How about your car?
I don't know. It's exciting. We got a cool new paint scheme. Home Depot and I both are celebrating 25 years this year, so we got the anniversary paint scheme on the car for Home Depot today, and Zippy, I know, made a lot of big changes last night, so we needed it. We're not quite as happy with it as what we wanted to be, but that's the great thing about Zippy. I mean, he knows how to take the information we give him after happy hour and find a package that really will work well for us.
Last night, did you think about the frustrating moments you've had here, or the dream that you could enjoy here today?
I'll tell you what, I spent the whole weekend, and when we climbed in the car the first time on Friday, I told Zippy, I said, no matter what happens this weekend, we're going to have fun, and that's exactly what we've done all weekend so far. We've had a blast. The last 2 nights I've went and watched my open wheel cars race, got to watch Jay Drake win in our Silver Crown car Thursday night. It's just been a fun weekend, and we're approaching this race just like we do any other, but deep down inside, not only myself but the guys in particular really know how much this race means to me, and they've done everything they can to assure me we're going to have a really good car today.
Thanks for stopping by. Best of luck.
Thanks, pal.
Tony Stewart in the 20 car rolls off 24th in the Brickyard 400. Here's a look at the top 20 in the Nextel Cup Championship standings. Jimmy Johnson on top by 232, the largest lead of the season over Jeff Gordon, who moved up to second. Earnhardt is 34 back. From 4th place Kenseth to 10th place Harvick, it's just 203 points. And look at this, it's just another 40 points to 11th place Jeremy Mayfield. He's 29 ahead of Kane. In fact, 15th place Jamie McMurray is just 194 points out of 7th. That's the first lap. The countdown to the Brickyard 400 has just begun. Much more when NASCAR on NBC races on.
Discover Card Countdown to Green is brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to discover. By Wendy's Kids Meals, now with delicious new choices. And by your Exxon and Mobil retailers, who wish all the great drivers in the race a great race today.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway was built in 1909. It's changed a lot since then. There are more than 250,000 seats, but the best 43 were finally taken Saturday in qualifying. In this sport, you get more than just a ticket to the race. You get a part of the tradition. The daring at Daytona, a Darlington Stripe, the short track sparks at Bristol, and the clock the winner gets at Martinsville. New fans will learn it. Old fans love it. Dave, the tradition here at the Brickyard stretches back almost 100 years, but every now and then somebody comes up with something that's just a little sweeter.
And Bill, what could be sweeter than kissing a lady? But that's exactly what every winner of the Brickyard 400 has done since Dale Jarrett and his team kissed the hallowed ground here to Indianapolis on which they had raced. Now, after the winning celebration in Victory Lane, every team will make their way down to the yard of bricks on the start-finish line, that hallowed yard of bricks, and they will kneel down and they will kiss the bricks in respect of this great Indianapolis racetrack. Now, you can liken it to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, or perhaps even to kissing American soil when you return home. But it's unlike any tradition the Brickyard had ever seen. because no driver, no Indianapolis winner of any kind, had ever kissed the bricks until Dale Jarrett sealed his 1996 victory here with a kiss. Bill?
Very good, Dave. Dale Jarrett starts 17th today, and Matt Yoakum is with him.
Bill, he has kissed the bricks twice today, going to try for a third time with a very stout race car. But DJ, who came up with the idea to kiss the bricks?
That was my crew chief at the time, and Elliot's crew chief now, Todd Parrott. We were in Victory Lane, and he said, come on, guys, let's go out here to the bricks. And so I think we started something there, and we'd like nothing better than do it for a third time. Got an awful good car in this UPS Ford, and I know my teammate's very stout, so hopefully we can get one of these Robert Yates Racing Ford in Victory Lane today, and say hi to all the UPS employees out there, and thanks for the support.
Keep an eye on this race car. He will roll off 17th today. Bill?
All right, Matt, we will. Kevin Harvick won here 1 year ago, making another big splash, but for a long time he felt like he was swimming upstream. Then his car owner went fishing for some answers. A walk along the river with Kevin Harvick, next on NBC. Kevin Harvick's fourth career win since taking over the seat for the late Dale Earnhardt in 2001. Harvick was a relative unknown when Richard Childress put this likable kid into the car of a legendary king. Harvick had instant success. He won in just his third race. He was an instant star in the Intimidator's shadow. And like Earnhardt, Harvick's talent had to share the track with his temper, until Childress took the future for a walk into the past along the Yadkin River in North Carolina in April of 2002.
It's a good thinking hole and a good talking hole, and we locked the gate. Nobody can get in.
Sometimes I don't know if that's good.
Are they locked out or are you locked in?
I think I'm locked in.
In April of 2002, Kevin Harvick was benched by NASCAR for aggressive driving. He sat out a race, then sat down with his car owner.
How long had you thought about having that conversation with him and bringing him here to do it?
There comes a time when you got to sit down and address a situation. If you don't sit down and address it, it won't go away.
Did that change your career that day?
I think it did. I know it definitely changed the way I thought about things.
In 2001, Harvick won 2 races and the hearts of millions of fans. He finished in the top 10 in points and won the Busch Series championship. But in 2002, Harvick's smooth ride from rookie to winner hit the wall.
I think that at the end of 2001, we all just finally, we just kind of collapsed on whatever it was that was driving us.
I was down, way, way down, and didn't really, to be honest, didn't really care if it ever came back up because I was so frustrated and just wanted to be out of this whole situation. But that was the day that he told me, he said, look, he said, champions are made out of how they rebound from bad situations.
Harvick was trying to be his own man, but felt the long shadow of the man, 7-time champion Dale Earnhardt.
That's probably been the hardest thing for me to come to grips with was that shadow.
The pressure that he was put under. I look back through that whole field, and I don't know many guys that could have stood it.
I told him, I said, look, I don't want to drive it anymore. I'm tired of driving it because everything I've ever done is I've built my own identity.
Kevin, like many other race drivers and some of the greats, they're driven on competition and wanting to be the best.
And that was one of the kind of things that he helped me understand and become realistic about. This is the highest form of racing that you can get into in this country, and you're not always going to be the guy on top.
Harvick's unrestricted personality has led to lively run-ins with his competitors, trying his resolve and his boss's restraint.
Richmond. Trying time?
No, that wasn't trying. That was just all this sticking up for what we thought was right. And a lot of people say, why do you do stuff like that?
Why do you do stuff like that, Kevin?
Yeah, ask me why.
Why?
You know why I do stuff like that is because I care about what I do. You just get mad and you have to vent your frustrations, and I don't know that I'd probably do it a little bit different, but I wouldn't do it all different.
Should you have done it different?
I don't think so. You know, I'll probably be criticized for saying that. You know, the day that NASCAR gets it where these guys are all cookie cutters for drivers, I think we got a problem.
Today, Harvick is following in his owner's tire tracks, a new shop for his ever-expanding racing operation that already includes Matt Crafton's truck team.
For an owner, it's good to see a guy build a building like this or get a new airplane or a new boat or buy a farm, because you know they're going to have to get in there and dig out much harder.
Good luck.
Relaxing on the wall with Kevin Harvick. You know, I got an idea. Another Brickyard 400 win. You could pay off that race shop real quick.
Yeah, that'd go a long ways towards it. But I tell you what, this 29 Jim Goodwin Chevrolet has been really good in race trim. Just didn't do good in qualifying. So we're just back here strictly for your entertainment, so you have something to watch at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I know, 32nd. Can you win from back here, though?
Oh, I think so. I mean, Jeff Gordon's won from 27th, and it's all about track position. It's all about playing your strategy right and doing what you have to do to position yourself for the end of the race. So we're excited about today. It should be fun.
As he mentioned, Jeff Gordon won from 27th. Dale Jarrett won from 24th. Harvick might win from 32nd today. Bill?
Thanks, Marty. Brian Vickers starts 6th in his first Brickyard 400. He's right in front of Jamie McMurray, who finished 3rd in his first Brickyard 400 last year. We'll take you back to the grid when NASCAR on NBC continues. Bill Elliott won here 2 years ago and starts 18th today. Ricky Rudd took the Brickyard 400 in 1997. Today, he starts 40th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a pretty good starting spot. He's with Matt.
6 months ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. scored the biggest win of his career, the Daytona 500. Jr., only 2 top 5s since the middle of May. What would a win today do for you and this team?
Oh, it'd be huge for us. And, you know, we brought a brand new car here. We qualified well. We were all right in practice. And we changed some things since then, so I hope we're pretty good. It's a great racetrack. It's a lot of fun to get around. A lot of people here, and it'd be a big win for us in the Budweiser Chevrolet.
He will roll off from the 5th position. To Marty.
Well, Matt Canals, Jimmy Johnson's crew chief, has been very open lately about experimenting with chassis setups, aerodynamic packages. Is it hard to do that, Jimmy, and stick to the game plan with a Brickyard 400 trophy on the line?
You know, we've tried, but we had to abort yesterday with some of the stuff we had working for us at Pocono and go back to some traditional stuff. The track was really slick and it wasn't working like we thought it would for the low Chevrolet. But I've tried something different. I have a different aero package on my head today, so I'm hoping that's going to be. I'm hoping that's going to get us a few tenths, you know, to help out. So I'm doing everything I can.
California guy Kevin Harvick won last year, trying to make it back-to-back California kids in victory lane at Indy. Dave?
Well, Marty, if the buzz in the garage can be believed, Casey Kane has a legitimate shot at victory today in the Brickyard 400. Can we believe the buzz?
Well, I think if it was yesterday afternoon, we might be able to. Car was great yesterday afternoon, Dodge dealer to AW Dodge. But, you know, today's a different day. The weather's a lot different, and we'll see what happens. I think we got a good shot at it, though.
All right, Casey's red number 9 starts on the outside of row number 6. Let's go back to Matt.
In the last 8 races, Mark Martin has 4 top 10 finishes, including a win and a second-place finish. Mark, you told me you feel like your career goes in cycles. You're nearing the top of that cycle again. Could it come at a better time than here at the Brickyard?
It's perfect. You know, the Viagra team's got a great Taurus here, great power under the hood, and, you know, just everything's going our way. These guys are awesome on pit road, and they've been doing a great job, and I think we might have a chance at this one today.
That's all he wants is a chance. His best finish here at the Brickyard, second back in 1998. Bill?
Thanks, Matt. Kevin Harvick is the defending champion of this race. He'd like to be the first guy to win the Brickyard 400 back-to-back. He was the first guy to win back-to-back races at Chicagoland as a rookie in 2001. He started 6th and went to victory lane. He went back in 2002 and successfully defended his title at Chicagoland after starting 32nd. Today, Kevin Harvick will try to successfully defend his title at Indianapolis, where he starts 32nd. Now, you don't have to look it up because we already did. The countdown is at 0, and the Brickyard 400 is coming up.
This has been the Discover Card Countdown to Green. Let's go racing.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway property encompasses 750 acres, including an 18-hole golf course. But today, the only driving that really matters is on the 2.5 miles of pavement. Let's join the pre-race ceremonies.
To be delivered by Reverend Howard Bremer from Traders Point Christian Church.
Eternal God and Father of heaven and earth, we pause now to acknowledge you and to invoke your blessing and favor upon the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. For the beauty of this day, for this nation we call home, for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we give you thanks. Here at the most famous oval in all of the world, we are joined by millions from around the world to watch with excitement as God-given talent, mechanical precision, and fierce determination are engaged in the competition for the checkered flag. Whether in the thrill of victory or in the agony of defeat, I pray that these gifted drivers, their capable teams, and loyal fans will experience today a measure of safety, success, and satisfaction. As war clouds loom in many places, as terrorists threaten to destroy our very way of life, we pray for our military personnel scattered around the world, defending us and upholding freedom for others. In this stressful time, dear God, draw our nation back to the divine principles and moral foundation upon which it was built. Stand beside her and guide her through this night with the light from above. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ that you will bless the events here today, and dear God, would you continue to bless the United States of America. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Please remain standing. Remove your hats. It's time to pay tribute to our nation. Here to sing the Star Spangled Banner is the CMA ACM Vocal Group of the Year, Rascal Flatts.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched, we're so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the
Jarrett, Rod, Labonte, Elliott, Harvick. In just 400 miles, we'll add another name to the list of winners at the Brickyard. Next, these gentlemen will start their engines at Indy.
This is special.
Live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the 2004 Brickyard 400, presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil Retailers. 43 drivers awaiting the most famous words in racing at the most famous place in racing. And thanks to 80 cameras and a very dedicated crew of more than 150, you have the best seat in the house. Enjoy the race. And now to call the Brickyard 400, my pleasure to set it up to the best in the booth. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons.
Bill, thank you. You know, there's been NASCAR racing going on since the late 1940s, but this is only the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. The fact that they've been racing here at this track since 1909, though, and all the history and prestige that goes with it, BP, this race has become one of NASCAR's great prizes very quickly.
No, this is a huge place, and the teams point towards this and plan for this all year long. Year long as the crew chief builds new cars. He will tell them fabricators, look, let's make this little bit of change to this new car because it might work at the Brickyard when we get there in August. And the driver today, if he finishes 5th today, and we interview him after the race and post-race, he looks to the camera and he says, but we had a good points day. Folks, when he lays his head down on the pillow tonight, he will have one thought in his mind: we didn't win the Brickyard 400.
That's right, BP. You know, when you're a driver, a lot of places you go to, you don't pay attention to the surroundings, but you can. That's not the case here at Indianapolis. When you go down that straightaway on the pace lap, you're going through a canyon of people, and you are aware of it. This is the Brickyard. This is big. It's a very, very important race for a lot of drivers.
Many traditions in racing have been started here at Indianapolis, including the command to start engines. Let's go trackside now. Get those 4 famous words at Indy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that magical time has arrived. And now to speak the most famous words in motorsports, the chairman of the board of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Mary Hallman George.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
43 drivers racing for one trophy, and if he chanced to known forever as a winner at Indianapolis, the Brickyard 400 starts next on NBC.
NBC's coverage of the Brickyard 400, presented by Exxon and Mobil Retailers, is brought to you by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR. By your Exxon and Mobil Retailers, who wish all of the drivers a great race today. By Budweiser, it's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser, the race is on. And by new M3 Power from Gillette, the new power behind the Gillette Young Guns.
At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the field just rolling away from their grid positions, a few pace laps away from the start of the 11th Brickyard 400 on a beautiful day here in Speedway, Indiana. You know, the Dallenbach family name's well associated with Indianapolis. Wally Sr. was a winning contender here for many years, and our Wally Jr. has raced here successfully as well. For this week's high-speed tour of the famous Brickyard, the Wally's World cars never looked so good, and it had nothing to do with the paint job.
Welcome inside my Mountain Dew car. We're at the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I've got a special guest, supermodel Nikki Taylor. Thanks for being my passenger. You ready?
My pleasure.
All
Can
right.
I scream now? I'm going to scream. I have to scream.
Is this place great or what? Nikki, you got to open your eyes if you're going to see anything. Turn 1 is really, really tight. You got grandstands on the outside, the inside. This place is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is so cool.
You just hit the wall.
Yeah, I did. You okay?
Are you screaming?
You want me to hit it again? Okay. Now, I must say, out of all the guests I've ever had, you smell great. You're the best smelling guest I've ever had.
Oh, man, you smell pretty good yourself.
Well, Nikki, I hope you...
Sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I'm like, just praying that you don't have the wall.
Well, all I gotta say is I hope you enjoyed your ride. And God, I love my job.
It was fun.
Gee, it's a great sport. The problem is she's ruined you forever now.
Yeah, I
she
know.
said you smelled good.
How do we top that?
We probably don't. We move on is what we do. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, proud to sponsor the Budweiser Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race, Casey Mears. With a new track record at the place where his Uncle Rick won 4 Indy 500s, Casey Mears taking his second Budweiser Pole Award of the 2004 season. And the field making their parade in pace laps behind the Chevy Monte Carlo pace car. That's a 2005 Monte Carlo SS. Got a supercharged V6 engine, 240 horses under the hood. Chevy, the official pace car of NASCAR. Hopefully that car won't spend too much time out in front of the field all day once this green flag waves. Here's a look at the starting lineup for the 11th running of the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Casey Mears with Ward Burton alongside on the front row. Ward with some success here at the Brickyard in the past.
Elliott Sadler, his first top 10 start here at the Brickyard. Nemechek on the outside of row 2.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has struggled since getting burned in that accident out in Sonoma, California a few weeks ago, hoping to turn things around here today with a good finish at Indianapolis.
Ryan Newman on the inside of row 4. Jamie McMurray, who almost won this thing last year, finished third as their bestest rookie.
Lost out in the final couple of laps. And the championship leader, Jimmy Johnson, with the veteran Sterling Marlin in row 5. Johnson the winner last Sunday afternoon at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania.
Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane. In practice yesterday, Casey Kane, the fastest car in that 9.
Jeremy Mayfield just outside the top 10 in that race to the chase. Drivers trying to make the cut for the NASCAR championship.
Mayfield looked good yesterday, too, in practice. These guys, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, both have very good cars here.
And Mark Martin, that smile has not left his face since Pocono.
Two-time Brickyard 400 winner Dale Jarrett and 2002 Indy winner Bill Elliott will come from row 9.
Jeff Burton on the inside of row 10. Our guest analyst last night at IRP, the small track, the NASCAR Busch Series race last night.
Terry Labonte, the two-time champion in row number 11. Kenny Wallace, driving for Michael Waltrip Racing, made the field for the Brickyard 400.
Couple of guys in the point. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, but Matt Kenseth had another really good car yesterday in final practice. Boy, that car looked strong.
Everybody was talking about him in the garage this morning, huh?
Yep.
Jason Leffler, his first ride of the season. He's a teammate to Ward Burton here. He'll come with Kyle Petty from back in the field.
Scott Riggs, Michael Waltrip, row 14. Now we're getting to these guys that's got a long ways to go to try to win the Brickyard 400. Rusty Wallace, Brendan Gaughan, teammates.
Rusty Wallace, 9 top 10s in 10 races at Indy, but no win.
And Kevin Harvick, Ken Schrader, boy, Harvick wanted a better qualifying effort, but you can't count those guys out, defending champions.
Timmy Spencer and the rookie Scott Wimmer from row number 17. Spencer ran from deep in the field up into the top 10 last year, driving for a different team. It's been a tough weekend for Greg Biffle. He had a hard crash in practice on Friday. Very limited laps on a backup car in this race. He'll come from row 18.
Craven and Blaney back in provisional land along with Bobby Labonte, who his engine just exploded during his qualifying run.
Final spots in the field, Todd Bodine, Scott Pruitt, and Derek Cope will start at the tail end of the line. And there are the 43 drivers who will compete for the trophy in the 11th Brickyard 400. Those who failed to qualify, 50 drivers attempting to get into the 43-car field. And Benny talked about the engine failure for Bobby Labonte. Because that's a violation of NASCAR's one engine per weekend rule, he has to drop to the end of the line for the start. That'll drop him from 39th to 43rd starting position. 1 lap away from the green flag. Let's get some final stories from pit road. Dave Burns.
Well, Alan, Ward Burton experienced a little inter-team competition this week when teammate Jason Leffler out-practiced him by 24 positions. Ward took the challenge. He out-qualified Jason by 23. He starts second today, by far the best starting spot in his 2004 season. Marty?
Well, Dave, when you're a race car driver, it's a good thing to be nervous the night before the race. Elliott Sadler got 4 hours of sleep last night because his car is so good. He said this is the best chance we ever have had to win the Brickyard 400. Last words of encouragement from Todd Parrott, his crew chief. Remember, it's all about having fun today. Elliott said, I plan on having plenty of that this afternoon. Matt?
Jeremy Mayfield starts 13th, chasing his first Brickyard 400 victory. He enters Indy with a lot of motivation and momentum. 6 top 10 finishes his last 9 starts, but the motivation even greater. The 19 team has never won a Nextel Cup race. Jeremy hasn't won since 2000, and he's only 40 points out of the top 10. So, Bill, a win today could be big for a number of reasons.
Absolutely, Matt. Always worth a reminder, the pit road here, while it's about 5/8 of a mile long, it's only about 24 feet wide from the edge of the stall to that wall. There'll be a lot of rush hour traffic. It could be a problem. In fact, pit road here often looks like the mall parking lot the day after Christmas. Too crowded, everybody trying to exchange their stuff, and the lane you want to use to leave is always all jammed up. Alan?
And Bill, just to look at where some of the key teams are pitting. Remember that they get to select their pit stall in the order in which they qualify. So you see Casey Mears, the pole-sitting team, choosing that first stall at pit exit. Tony Stewart be mired back in the middle of pit road in some traffic when they make pit stops.
You know, we used to see all the top teams. I'm sorry, I was going to illustrate. You used to see all the top teams in those first few pits, but anymore, they scatter all down pit road.
Yeah. And like Bill said, these pits are very, very tight. Got to be careful. You do not want to do damage to your car in the pits or on these first few laps.
160 laps to make up the 400 miles in the Brickyard 400 today. $8.8 million on the line. The drivers aren't thinking about any of that. They're thinking about one thing, the checkered flag, the trophy. They're coming down for the start of the 11th Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Going into the first corner. Ward Burton and Casey Mears bouncing off each other.
Look out, guys.
And you got to be careful. You do not want to do that in this place. The aerodynamics is so important here. You don't want to ruin those fenders. Not now.
They've already have.
Yeah.
I mean, you think the Brickyard 400 isn't a big deal. Ward Burton was not going to give up that front row spot. He wanted to lead that first lap.
Casey Mears leads. Elliott Sadler is second. Ward Burton under challenge for third. Dale Earnhardt Jr. slides through in the eighth. Marty.
Ward Burton came on the radio when that contact happened, or after it happened, and said, "Tell Casey I owe him one."
Okay. He's got plenty of laps left. Got to catch him first.
Casey may think the same thing, too. Tell Ward I owe him one.
Elliott Sadler going for the lead. And Casey Mears does not want to give it up.
I talked Casey after he won the Bud Pole Award here at Indianapolis. He went into the press room and talked. They said, "What are your plans for tomorrow?" He said, "Lead. Lots."
That's the plan.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon, 24, working on his teammate Brian Vickers. That's for 7th place. Gordon is through. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 trying to follow in that inside opening.
24, 25, 48, all those cars owned by Rick Hendrick or Hendrick Motorsports.
That's a key right there with the 48 with Jimmy Johnson. If you can turn underneath the guy, that's how you're going to pass cars in Indianapolis. Very difficult to pass on the outside, but you got to get the car underneath them. So hopefully the car you're racing is going to push like right there.
Whoa! Hang on, Jimmy.
Yep, slid up the racetrack, but McMurray couldn't capitalize. However.
Well, that 48 car of Jimmy Johnson obviously off to a good start. Chassis number 4874, their first appearance in 04.
And Elliott Sadler, Bill, going for the lead.
Second leader of the Brickyard 400. Elliott Sadler, driving for Robert Yates Racing. He's out of Emporia, Virginia. His best finish here at Indianapolis, 21st in 1999.
Wally, as good as that 38 car looks on the racetrack now, it might be a few laps before they see him again.
Yeah, you know, these guys were really, really happy with their test. When they came here and tested, these guys have been pumped up since then about coming back here with this race car.
And so now you wonder, as you watch Elliott Sadler pull away from Casey Mears, what kind of damage was done to those front fenders on Mears' 41 car?
You know, that was the point I was trying to make at the start. Not only in pit lane, but these first few laps, you got to keep your nose clean because downforce is so important. Bill Weber.
Well, Wally, that car was bad loose on Saturday. This morning, a wedge adjustment, and they dropped the track bar. But the report from Casey right now, the car is really tight. So battling a tight condition in that 41 car. Marty?
Bill Elliott Sadler was talking about the test that they had here in the, Wally was talking about Elliott Sadler's test they had here.
Car on the wall.
Oh, trouble on the racetrack,
Jason Leffler in the 60.
And that is heavy damage to that car. Heavy, heavy damage.
Caution flag is out. field slows. That's in turn 4. And boy, that's a big hit.
Winninette is down, so obviously Jason in the car moving around.
Jason's mad.
We know he wants out of that thing in a hurry.
I mean, that car, folks, is destroyed. That is not repairable.
And they have the softer barriers here, and still you can see what a shot he took there.
He had, report is, brushed the wall earlier in turn 1 and potentially had a fender rubbing the right front tire. So maybe that tire failed and caused this.
It sure looks like, yes, it looks like a right front tire failure. That car looks like it's narrowed up a foot, maybe even more.
Pancaked.
So you see the record crew there to hook up the machine and take it away, and Jason getting ready to extricate himself from the race car. So caution is out for the first time in the Brickyard 400. Elliott Sadler leading at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time in his career. NBC Sports at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with the 11th running of the Brickyard 400, presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil Retailers. Under the first caution of the race came out 5 laps in when Jason Leffler hit the wall. We talked about him brushing the wall earlier. We can show it to you.
There we see him bouncing off the wall. That's up in turn 1. Now here he's going, there we see him just brushing the wall. But that knocks the fender in on the tire. It rubs. The end result, a few laps later,
boom.
Boom. And that's the end result of boom.
So they haul Leffler's car away. And we were noticing in the opening laps of the race that Mark Martin, one of the people who everybody thought would contend to win this thing, had fallen seriously back through the pack. Mark started in 16th place, and at the caution, he was running in the late 20s.
Yeah, Mark just got up on the outside here, got on the gas, and the car just slid up the racetrack. And he wobbled the side a little bit, but they were able to pull those fenders out and hopefully won't hurt the downforce too much, Marty.
Yeah, Wally, he just left after making pit stop number 2. I just checked in with Pat Tryson, his crew chief. He said it's really just cosmetic damage, no damage to the chassis. They think they'll be fine, but now he's way back in the field in 30th. That's going to be a long way to come from back there to still try to win this thing.
Only 8 teams chose to pit under this caution. Most all of the leaders stayed out. The first one to stop, 20th place Sterling Marlin. We'll give you the list of those who stopped and get you set for the restart when we come back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You're watching the Brickyard 400 on NBC. Just back at Indianapolis as the green flag waves and the Brickyard 400 back up to speed. As the green flag waves, Michael Waltrip ducks onto pit road.
My guess is that would be a plan, trying to get as much fuel as we can.
Dave,
no plan, guys. A right front flat. They asked the 16 of Greg Biffler to ride up and take a look at it. He said, you have a flat tire. They change right sides and leave.
Well, because they were just coming to the restart, Michael should get back up to speed without losing a lap. So
yeah, that was the best time for it to happen.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of good luck in their misfortune there.
If they run these cars, run a lap and get up to speed, then he probably could not make that pit stop without being lapped. But here we see...
Oh, contact! Dale Earnhardt Jr. nips the back bumper of Casey Mears. Glove saving a beauty for Mears, but he's going to get shuffled now. Ward Burton by, Jeff Gordon by.
And both those cars go by Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Oh, Jeff.
4 car, little bit loose, lights up the racetrack.
And Junior back by him. Cooked a little bit into the corner.
And you look, see how much momentum, just that little tap, how much momentum the 41 car lost. Look at all those positions. Nemechek got by, Ryan Newman got by in the 12.
Yeah, Ward Burton, Jeff Gordon. We've seen more people bouncing off each other in the few laps of green flag racing we've done today.
That's exactly right. They are going for it. And that's exactly why we're seeing so many cars brush the wall. That's why we're seeing contact. Because this is not just another race.
Elliott Sadler leads. Ward Burton is second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. third. Jeff Gordon fourth. Joe Nemechek fifth. And Ryan Newman sixth. Jimmy Johnson seventh. And Casey Mears is shuffled all the way back to the number 8 spot. just by that little bump and run.
Take a look at it from Dale Jr.'s car when he got into the back of Casey Mears coming out of turn 4. This is in the short chute. He thinks he's got an opening, drives down in there. I mean, just barely touched him.
But you're right, Alan. That was a terrific save by Casey Mears to keep control of that car. Dave, what is it about the 8 car?
Well, BP Jr. had a comment, and he's talking on the radio right now. I'm trying to listen to him. A little bit tight to the middle of the corner, but he thought Casey Mears cut him off. That's what he said on the radio.
Well, I don't know about that. He wasn't far up enough on the 41 car for him to give him the lane. I mean, that was just, that was a hope and a prayer right there.
Wally, as long as we have racing cars on oval tracks, that's the argument we'll always have.
He cut me off.
And the other guy said he ran in the back of me.
And now Dale Earnhardt Jr. running third, being chased by Jeff Gordon, the 3-time Brickyard 400 winner, and a change of positions behind them. Ryan Newman in the 12, getting by Joe Nemechek in the 01. That'll put Newman from South Bend, Indiana, into 5th place.
Luke Gordon taking a look, takes the spot from Junior.
See, that's what Junior expected Casey Mears to do for him, is say, okay, go ahead, you're faster than me. You think?
Yeah, no. Weber.
Yeah, that 24 car is pretty good. The word from Jeff Gordon on the radio, this car is turning right. And right would be properly and not to the right. Gordon happy early in the Brickyard.
I was a little concerned, Bill, when you said it was turning to the right.
Yeah. I was a little concerned when I heard it, BP. That's next week.
Yeah, Watkins Glen, the road course. So Jeff Gordon to 3rd. Earnhardt Jr. back to 4th. Just ahead of Ryan Newman in 5th. Let's check back on Tony Stewart. He was visiting with Bill during the pre-race. Tony is up to 12th place. Started 24th. You're used to seeing Tony's car, used to the orange color. His sponsor, Home Depot, is so synonymous with. A little different scheme to it here this week at the Brickyard.
Now, I'll tell you what, the 41 of Casey Mears is struggling right now. That car is pushing bad. You cannot keep the car to the bottom of the racetrack. When you don't do that at Indy, that's what happens. Cars drive underneath you.
And Tony Stewart gets 2 of them in 1 lap, man.
He is on the move, BP.
Look at that.
He wants to win here at the Brickyard. You heard him talk in our Discover Card countdown to green. They made a bunch of minor changes, front and rear suspension, and it is helping. He came on the radio during that caution, said, "We are coming, boys." The crew jumped up on the wall thinking he was going to pit. He said, no. I mean, the front is coming to us, meaning it's not as tight as it was during final practice, Bill.
The change is not working for Casey Mears. The car loose in and tight off. Talked to crew chief. They said he might have some fender damage up there. Not sure how that's affecting the car, but not the way they had it set up to handle, you guys.
Bill, trust me, he's got fender damage on the right front and now he's got fender damage on the left front.
In the door.
Yeah, because Casey Kane made contact with Casey Mears as he went down to turn 1 last lap.
And I'm telling you, you don't see 2 cars hit that hard together at this racetrack at that point in a corner and not end up piling into the wall.
Take a look at this again. It almost looked like it was intentional. Let's take a look at it. See, Casey Kane, the 9 car, goes down into beside him, and then I don't know if he just lost it. Yeah, he got a little bit loose, and he went to save it. And fortunately, Casey was there.
And Kurt Busch on the left in the 97 and went around both of them. Jeff Gordon on the move, looking for 2nd place.
Man, that car is turning.
And that'll bring the fans here in Indianapolis to their feet as Gordon goes to the runner-up spot.
All right, Jeff Gordon about a little over 3 seconds behind Elliott Sadler, the leader. Keep an eye on that and see if he is able to chase down the 38 car.
Jeff Gordon, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s in 8 Brickyard 400 starts. The only 3-time winner of this race in its 10 previous runnings. There's Gordon, 3.1 seconds behind the leader, Elliott Sadler. Sadler out of Emporia, Virginia, a 2-time winner on the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, looking to make his 3rd career victory, one in one of the biggest events on the circuit. He's trying to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR on NBC at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, bringing you the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. Elliott Sadler is out in front of the race, one of 2 drivers that have spent time leading. Casey Mears, the pole sitter, led the first 2 laps. Sadler in that 38 car went by and has led since lap 3. Our Wendy's race menu from Indy, we move on to the road course at Watkins Glen, New York. Next Sunday afternoon, TNT has the coverage for you. Then the 2-mile super speedway in Michigan, followed by the night race at Bristol, and a primetime race from the California Speedway just outside of Los Angeles. That's what's coming up on the Wendy's race menu. Sadler looking good. Let's check on how he and some of the other front runners are working their cars out, sorting their things in the opening laps. Our visa through the field. We start with Marty Snyder in the leader's pit.
While lap times continue to look strong for Elliott Sadler, came on the radio at lap 10 laps ago, and said the car feels just as good as it did yesterday when he was one of the best cars in yesterday's final practice. Little free in and off the corner. Bill?
24, Jeff Gordon, little free in, little tight under throttle, driving the car he had at both Pocono races, where he got 2 top 5 finishes, Marty.
Ward Burton started second, currently running third. His best Indy finish is 6th. Twice, came on the radio a little while ago, said it can't roll through the corner, work on the back, not the front. Matt?
2 years ago, Ryan Newman finished 4th here at the Brickyard. That's where he runs. He's improved another spot over the last lap. The car just a little bit free, Dave.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car is comfortable getting into the corner, according to him. Slides the nose a little bit in the center. Remember, today, there is no backup driver for Jr. He plans to go the distance. Bill?
The 19 of Jeremy Mayfield off to a good start. Mayfield's had some success at this track. He's also had some hard hits, but his run so far here, good. Not the same for Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. They changed springs. They changed shocks this morning. They changed a bunch of stuff. Word from Jimmy, the car is looser than yesterday. Matt, how about Tony?
Tony Stewart's led 106 laps combined over the past 3 Brickyard 400s, trying to make his way to the front to lead more. After making that 3-wide pass, all he told his crew, the car is just a little bit tight through the center of the corner, Marty.
Matt Kurt Busch has 2 top 10s in his 3 Indianapolis starts, and he's showing why he's so good at this racetrack today. Started 15th, currently 9th, a little loose in and a little tight off. That's it. Dave?
The 88 of Dale Jarrett, former winner here, looked me in the eye this morning and said, we've got another legitimate shot at winning today. Right now, his car just a little bit loose in, but he says it's getting better. Alan?
That's how your top 10 are faring at this point. Elliott Sadler out in front, just past 50 miles of the distance in today's Brickyard 400. His advantage over Jeff Gordon is 2.6 seconds. You see the gap there, first to second. Let's continue with our visa through the field. 11th place. Oh, trouble. Tony Stewart. Caution flag is out.
Got away with not hitting anything. Well, I haven't seen the back yet.
Yeah, how can you be so lucky to spin in front of all these cars? Tony, it might be your day.
The 8th place car took the spin, Matt.
He came on the radio after he told the crew the car was all set. He said, my fault, I got a little bit too close to the rumble strips.
And the rumble strips down in the bottom of the corners are kind of like a curb.
And he touched that with the left front, which unloaded the car, and around he goes.
Check it out, cause of the second caution in the Brickyard 400.
I'll tell you what, he did a good job. Once he got the car sideways, he just nailed the gas, kept those rear tires spinning, and kept the car from backing in the outside retaining wall.
See how Kurt Busch snuck through all that snow?
Let's go on board with him and watch this.
Hear it? Yeah. You can hear the left front. It's like hitting ice. Like that, but they're painted, so there's no traction there.
Folks, I tell you what, he drove that thing out of that spin, though. That's very impressive. Not very impressed with all those cars behind him, though, because he really smoked the place up.
Yeah, they weren't impressed.
Yeah, they're not impressed at all.
The 97 of Kurt Busch just disappeared into that cloud, locked the brakes down, came out the left side, and was clear.
We're going to see a lot of guys coming in right now.
All of them.
Everybody.
Hey, if your computer's nearby while you're watching today's race, log on to NBCSports.com. BP tells you who he thinks is going to win this race. Don't give it away now.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something about what I think we'll see in strategy later on. The guys in that chase for the championship having to choose between winning the Brickyard 400 and thinking about the season-long big trophy. NBCSports.com. Pit stops will be big here.
Yes, they will.
And again, you got to pay attention to what these cars cannot make contact with anything on pit lane, or they'll have to come back in.
Here comes the leader. Only 8 drivers pitted under that first caution. Sterling Marlin was the first of them to come in last time by, but I suspect we'll see about everybody in here. Ryan Newman, first to his stall, Matt.
His team up on the wall. Ryan Newman enters pit road in the 4th position. And the car's a little bit loose in, tied off, but it seems to be a lot better in clean air. Matt Borland says no adjustments on the 12 car. Dave.
8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in. They will make an air pressure adjustment and a chassis adjustment. A little bit snug in the corners for Jr. 4-tire stop.
Dave, our leader, Elliott Sadler, will hit pit road in first position. Obviously, the team has just taken over the lead in the Powerade competition. 1 pound of the right rear car, just a little bit loose, Bill.
Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. Robbie Loomis warned him, stay inside the yellow line. That's the pit box border. A little bit tight, 4 tires and fuel.
Hey, great stop by Jeremy Mayfield's guys. If he picked up a spot? No, he didn't. He came out where he started, again in the pits.
That was the big merge you were talking about. You can't hit anything when you're coming out of your pit stall into that line of traffic.
They behaved well.
They did. They've been bending all the fenders on the track.
Yeah.
24 of 160 laps are complete. Elliott Sadler holding the lead on the set of pit stops. Get set for the running order and the restart in the Brickyard 400. When we come back, you're watching NASCAR on NBC. The Brickyard 400 is under caution. Elliott Sadler, the leader going into the pit stops, held the lead coming off over Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Marty.
Good day so far for the Ford bunch, Alan. And a couple of years ago, you would not have expected to see a manufacturer helping out all the race teams as Ford has here this weekend and all the racetracks this weekend. And that's the subject of today's Built Ford Tough moment. Ford brings that trailer to the racetrack every weekend, and inside are engineers, and they help every Ford race team with help on the chassis setup, also powertrain, aerodynamics, and any crew chief that wants to go there can go there, get help with their setup or their aerodynamics, as you see Pat Tryson doing right there this weekend. They compare their notes, trying to make it a better collective effort for all the Ford racing teams. There's a truck that Wally wants to win, and log on to that website right there, and you can win that truck.
And a Ford of Elliott Sadler will lead the field to the green flag for the restart.
Let's see how many guys blocked here.
Elliott did.
Yep.
He's trying to keep that 24 car behind him till he can get up to speed.
Boy, that 24 car was cutting awfully good, which means he's turning real well in the corners. And I think if he can get up there a little bit closer to Elliott, Elliott is looking in the mirror a little bit, taking that car wide. Bill Weber.
Wally just a little tight, as we were talking about, just a half pound of air pressure in the right rear.
Got to free that car up a little bit.
Gordon running second, just making a note. Mark Martin, just right side tires on his pit stop to get some of the track position back he lost earlier when he had to make a couple of stops. As a bid for the lead.
Taking a look.
Jeff Gordon looking on Elliott Sadler.
He's got him.
And he does it at the right place, down the front straightaway, amongst all those people. Gets them all up on their feet cheering.
So the third leader of the Brickyard 400 is Jeff Gordon. Elliott Sadler second, Earnhardt Jr. third off the pit stops, Jeremy Mayfield fourth. That was Matt Kenseth, who is passing Mark Martin for fifth. Mark is back to sixth. Jimmy Johnson seventh. Ryan Newman eighth. Ward Burton ninth. Jeff Green and Richard Petty's 43 running 10th.
What's that? Jeff Gordon, 200 miles per hour as he enters turn 3 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. During qualifying, we saw some cars running 205 as they entered turns 103. Elliott Sadler. Did he get to 200? Yes, he did.
Carried a little bit of steam down there into that corner.
I'm telling you. And it's a 90-degree corner when you get there.
Jeremy Mayfield's wanting to buy the 8 car. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And he does
right there, yeah.
Boy, that was impressive, wasn't it?
Man.
So the 8 slips back a spot, Dave.
Yeah, and Alan, it did not take Junior long to radio back to his crew, and he said, still tight.
So that's the case, the 17 car will be by momentarily.
Yeah, how about right now?
Yeah, because he was awfully good in final practice yesterday. He was doing that to cars all day long, turning down underneath them and going by. How about it, Barney?
It's exactly what Robbie Reiser told me this morning. He said the best thing about our race car cuts so well in the middle of the corner. And he said that's where all the passes will be made today. If you can get underneath someone, that's the key, and that's where Matt is best. And the big thing for these guys, they're better the longer they run. So Matt's working pretty well here early in the run as well.
So Matt Kenseth started back in 23rd place, and he's up to 4th now. And we're not even to 100 miles of this Brickyard 400. Our Singular Wireless Race Talk poll. Some things on our minds. We want to see what you're thinking about. From the first decade of the Brickyard 400, what's your favorite moment? Jeff Gordon's win in the inaugural when he was so young. Dale Earnhardt, his memorable win in 95. Dale Jarrett, that exciting finish with Ernie Irvin in 96.
Oh, we got trouble.
Jimmy Johnson spinning.
Careful, careful. Stay right there, Jimmy.
Another guy gets away with spinning, not hitting anything.
Man, oh man.
That was a race for 8th place with Ryan Newman. That went badly.
Ricky Craven said, I'll just go down pit road. Make it easier.
Jimmy, I don't know if that left front is flat, but he's got to be careful not to go all the way around the racetrack too fast and have that tire come apart and rip the fenders and brake lines. And
he is taking it kind of slowly, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's going to come down pit lane.
Road. Here it is.
Looks like he got air on the 12 car, drove up behind him, packed that air, or took the air off the spoiler of the 48, and the 48 lost grip.
And round he went.
Round and round you go. Watch this. Watch when the 12 car drives up on the Lowe's car. Right there. It's just like lifting that rear of the car up. But there again, lucky he didn't hit anything.
12 car just spun us here, Chad.
No, that's not true.
Well, he did, but he didn't touch you.
He didn't touch you.
The front ends of these cars are so low, there's a bubble of air that the car pushes in front of it. And that's what Wally talks about, packing the air under the back of the car. It's that bubble of air that they're using.
And it's just like somebody lifting the rear bumper up off the racetrack. But this was a good move, doing this now. Whoever.
Yeah, even before that, Jimmy had radioed in that the car was loose, talking to crew chief Chad Canals, telling everybody to stay calm. We're just going to put 4 tires on it right now, then we'll come back and fix it. Talking about putting a rear spring rubber in you guys to try and help him out, but he is very loose out on the racetrack.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to get that rear up, get that spoiler working a little bit better, give it some more grip.
We were doing our Singular Wireless Race Talk poll when that happened. If you'd like to vote, tell us what your favorite Brickyard 400 moment is. There's how you do it. And we're under caution for a 3rd time in the 11th running of the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back at the Brickyard 400 as the green flag waves once again. Jeff Gordon leading this race over Elliott Sadler, Jeremy Mayfield, Matt Kenseth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And you saw Mark Martin as the cars took the green flag on pit road. The left front tire was flat on the number 6 car.
Jimmy Johnson, who brought out the caution with his spin, was running 8th at the time he spun. He is now back in... Where is he? I lost him here. 38th, thank you. I knew he was way back there. I wasn't looking far back enough. And so Mark Martin, remember, he had a couple pit stops early. Came in and took 2 tires on the caution flag to get his track position back, got him up to 5th, and now he's going to be all the way back in 39th place.
And you just saw Tony Stewart in the 20 car go by Dale Jarrett. Folks, that was for the 9th position. So after the spin, he's already back to 9th.
Ryan Newman in the 12 just went by Ward Burton for 6th down the straightaway.
So the Indiana boys doing well here at the Indiana track.
Want to look and check on Kurt, what was that, Ward Burton? Losing 2 spots here. That's Jeff Green in the 43 and Tony Stewart going by.
Ward's got some problems there because he's losing a lot of spots.
Tony going to try and get Jeff Green in turn 4. Wow, Jeff went around the outside trying to hold him off.
Tough, but this is going to be a little bit tougher going down into 1. Don't really want to be on the outside in 1.
That's probably why he was trying so hard up in turn 4 so he wouldn't be on the outside, but it didn't work.
So Stewart Bride his 7th place. Ward Burton to 8th. Jeff Green back to 9th. And Dale Jarrett riding with him in 10th.
and steam.
Yeah. As you say, what a great outing it's been for the 43. The Petty Enterprises team has just struggled this year, and they've been up around the top 10 since we dropped the green flag. Now, Kurt Busch's story. Remember, he was right behind Tony Stewart when Tony spun back at lap 24. Locked the tires up, slid through the cloud of smoke, had to come on pit road under that caution, Marty, but he had more problems than just a tire.
Yeah, the left rear tire went flat, Alan, and when they pulled it off, kind of had wrapped itself around some suspension pieces, and they yanked it off, they pulled the brake line. So Kurt currently has brakes on 3 wheels, none on the left rear, so that's got to be very hard to drive. His teammate Mark Martin had a flat left front, as you talked about, BP, came down pit road, changed left side only, much like Michael Waltrip. He did not go down a lap. Now he needs a caution to catch back up with everybody else.
Well, fortunately for Kurt on this deal is that you don't use a lot of brakes here in Indianapolis. You just barely touch the brakes if you need to set the nose of the car. But it's not a place like Loudon, New Hampshire or Richmond or somewhere like that where you really use a lot of brake.
Dale Jarrett passing Ward Burton for 9th spot. Here's Robbie Gordon in the 31, trying to get a spot on Greg Biffle.
These guys have been going at it for the last 5 or 6 laps.
It's 11th and 12th place.
Got Burton looking on the inside. Casey Kane right behind him. I'm sure Casey Kane will try to follow Jeff Burton through.
Tell you what, Robbie Gordon is not giving that spot up easily.
That was nice. Nice move.
Robbie in the 31 car started the race in 20th place. Again, he's racing for now 12th spot with Jeff Burton in the 99. Jeff started 19th.
You see Robbie's hand come out the window like, come on, what are you doing? He wasn't pointing him by, he was putting his hand out like, and
blocking him there.
Yeah, Robbie's going to block some guys today.
And the defending Brickyard 400 winner, Kevin Harvick, started 32nd. And he's up to 16th.
This could start to get ugly, BP.
I'm telling you. Oh, now Burton, Casey Kane is going by on the outsider, trying to. Oh, 3 wide. Dave Blaney, that 30 car is going by Burton. Going to try to get by the 9.
Boy, Jeff came out the loser on that deal. Oh, crossover.
That is so cool. Attaboy, Jeff Burton.
Boy, it's got to take your breath away when you get into that corner.
Yeah.
200 miles an hour and that car starts wiggling. How about Jeff Burton, Dave?
Did you see how good he got into that corner to make that crossover move?
Yes.
That's what they worked on their pit stop. He said, we're a little bit tight, we're a little bit loose, but we need to work on our entry. So they went up on the track bar just a bit, which actually made them a little looser on the entry and caused them to be able to turn down. Matt?
The guy chasing Jeff Burton is the defending winner of this event, Kevin Harvick. Now on their stop, they made an air pressure adjustment and made a little tug on the fender to try to adjust that car. It was a little bit tight. Harvick said, whatever we did to this race car, undo it. We have really hurt this race car. That's what they're talking about doing on their next stop, Bill.
The rookie Casey Kane having a good run so far. The car is tight in, loose off. They made a track bar adjustment, went up 1 round, added the fuel in the 4 tires. Now, he did hurt those fenders earlier in the race, but the crew believes he's going to be okay. We'll wait and see, won't we, Wally?
Yes, yeah. Well, man, I want to go back to the 29. When they tugged on those fenders, did it make it too loose?
He said loose in, too tight off.
Okay, so basically by tugging on those fenders, they gave the car more downforce, which made the front of the car more downforce, which makes the car loose.
Robbie Gordon and Casey Kane racing for 12th and 13th positions. How about the 31 car, Dave?
He radioed to his crew before that last stop that he was loose off, and then he added, but strong. And when Robbie has a car, he thinks he can stay ahead of you. I think you mentioned the word blocking. He's going to race him hard all day. They made a slight adjustment of the air pressure to work on that loose off condition.
Boy, look at that line that Casey Kane took, how wide he made that entry into turn 1. Now, if he could get that to work, he might have something going there.
Working for him right now. And he may get some drafting help. And believe me, a little bit of drafting works here in Indianapolis.
Now let's see if Jeff Burton sticks the fender in there.
I believe he would.
To return the favor.
Going to have to hurry.
So Casey Kane is through, and that'll put him to 12th place, and Robbie Gordon's able to hold off Jeff Burton for 13th. Up front, Jeff Gordon being pursued by Elliott Sadler as he leads at the 100-mile mile mark of the Brickyard 400. There are your top 5. Jeff Gordon pursuing an unprecedented 4th win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, caution is out for the 4th time in the Brickyard 400. Tony Raines, one of the Indiana drivers in the race, has encountered some trouble.
Left front tire flat, and it just disintegrated. We see the damage that it's done to the left front fender.
Tony, driving for Bill Davis Racing, was running 19th down the front stretch when this happened.
Just let go.
We see the tire coming apart. Now, there's no damage yet. The fender's still intact, but before he can get the car back to pit road, he will do all that damage to the left front.
And that's why Jimmy Johnson made the right move. Well, you know, he was in the right place, too.
Yeah.
He had a long way to go, Tony Raines, to get back to the pits. But when that tire comes apart, it knocks off brake lines and hoses and fenders
And the pit road is going to be closed this time as the Chevy Monte Carlo leads the field under caution. We'll take a break, come back for the pit stops and the restart in a minute.
NBC's coverage of the Brickyard 400, presented by Exxon and Mobil Retailers, is brought to you by the United States Army, an army of one. By Nextel Coast to Coast Walkie Talkie. Nextel, done. By Discover Card, it pays to discover. And by Chevy, the winningest name in racing, an American revolution.
$250,000 or so gathered at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway watching the pace car lead the field around. Caution out for the 4th time in the race after Tony Raines lost a left front tire first and then various bits and pieces of metal on his way back around to the racetrack. Pit road not yet opened. Our NASCAR Busch Series update. They raced last night at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Little half-mile track across town. Great show. Kyle Busch outrunning the dominant driver of the night, Johnny Sauter, to pick up another victory this season, his 4th of the win. Martin Truex Jr. Losing a little bit of his championship lead to Kyle Busch, but not much. They race next 1 week from Saturday at Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series raced at the same track, IRP, on Friday night. Chad Chaffin passed Johnny Sauter on the last lap. He only led 1 lap all night, but it was the one that paid the most. And Chad Chaffin with his 2nd win of the Craftsman Truck season. Very tight championship for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Johnny Sauter should be tickled to death with 2 second-place finishes over the weekend, but I doubt he is. He's probably one to win.
How did we get to this point in the Brickyard 400? Well, let's show you. They started filling up the stands shortly after 7 o'clock this morning, when they fired the traditional cannon signifying the gates are open. Casey Mears and Ward Burton let the fireworks start on the track right in the very first corner.
Yeah, they made some contact. Like we said, man, this is Indianapolis. They're going for it hard.
First caution, lap 4.
Jason left with the double zero car, blows a right front, and in the wall he goes. And Tony Stewart spins coming off turn 2. Does a fantastic job, keeps the car going, and is currently up in the 6th position.
Elliott Sadler led the opening laps after taking the lead from Casey Mears at lap 3. Then Jeff Gordon went by him. Jimmy Johnson racing for 8th place with Ryan Newman. And went for the roundy round. And did not hit anything somehow. Pit road is open. Matt?
Newman climbed back into the top 5. No changes on his first stop, but they're going to make a chassis adjustment and air pressure adjustment on this stop. The car was loose on entry. Made it even tighter off, so they're going to try to work on the entry the most, Marty.
Elliott Sadler running 2nd. He said, we were good, but we need to be better. Half pound back in the right rear tire to the way it was. 2 tires for track position. Bill?
Car is tight for Jeff Gordon. They're taking 2 right side tires. He's on his way, made a track bar adjustment. Dave?
The 88 car, 2 tires as well. The catch can man, Jason Burdett, he was the key man. He made the wedge adjustment to tighten the car up a bit, loosen the car up a bit, and also nodded his head that the car was full of fuel, so DJ could leave.
A lot of 2 tire stops there. We'll recap the pit strategy for you and get set for the restart when we come back. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. Think pit road's an easy place to work? Check this out.
The right front tire gets away. The tire carrier, Marty Forcier, looks and says, oh, I better get this tire because it's a penalty if they don't get it back over there. But that was close to being run over.
Kind of get penalized for getting hit, too, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not by NASCAR, but Derek Cope stayed on track while the others pitted to lead a couple of laps. He heads to pit road, so Jeff Gordon will go back into the number 1 spot as the pace car heads for the pit lane and we go back racing.
We normally would say he stays out there for 5 extra points, but you know what? Today they pay $400 per lap to lead. So that was $800. Good decision.
Jeff Gordon, Elliott Sadler, Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, and Robbie Gordon, the top 5. Kenseth got 4 tires on his pit stop, 4 new tires. The guys in front of him only got right side tires changed.
You know what? Kenseth's going to the front.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out.
Matt Kenseth, the defending NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion, finished second in the Brickyard 400 a year ago. Not working out for him right now.
Give him a lap or two.
He's going to the
Give him a lap or two. He's got to get some pressure up. Got to get some heat in him.
Okay.
And he's
Go ahead, Marty.
Matt's doing a great job. They have not touched a bolt on this car all afternoon. They decided to take 4. Robbie Reiser stuck with his decision, and Matt came on the radio when they came off pit road and said, for our decision, we're in a great position right now because they have 4. Everybody in front of them, like you said, Alan, only has 2.
Well, the problem is he lost 2 spots on that restart.
Don't forget these guys on their right side. They've got to get the temperature and the pressures up, and 2 is a lot easier than 4.
Tony Stewart trying to get alongside the 31 car of Robbie Gordon. He's on the inside. Gets a little loose.
Wobbling. Having already bumped those rumble strips and spun out once over there today.
So the team's going to push him by. Hey, you guys, I can't believe you didn't have any faith in me. It really hurts my feelings.
We've been around you enough to know. Question decisions on your part. Whoa, Ryan Newman. Hang on to that 12 car. How about Tony Stewart, Matt?
The car very solid, only an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires on his last stop. The biggest problem that Tony had was back in traffic. The car was just a touch on the tight side, but now in front of the 17, a little bit of clean air to work to try to continue his move to the front.
Casey Kane in the 9, Rusty Wallace in the 2. That's for 8th place.
Casey a little bit loose under the 2 car of Rusty Wallace, which will happen if you go side by side down into the corners and you're on the bottom, you're going to be a little bit loose.
If Rusty had seen Casey Kane pass the 41 car early in the race, he would have moved over and let Casey Kane go.
That's exactly what happened.
Now Jeremy Mayfield working on Rusty Wallace in the 19, being pushed by Bill Elliott.
Teamwork.
First time we've called his name since the starting lineup. Starting to work his way toward the front. Elliott to now 9th place.
Jeff Green, 43 car underneath the 2 for the spot.
Rusty's slipping back. There's the view from no man's land here at Indianapolis. 2002 champion Bill Elliott. Dave, he took the green flag for this race in 18th spot, and he's up into the top 10.
And as I've watched him this weekend, I've looked for signs that it's the old Bill Elliott, the Bill Elliott that knew how to win, and what they did during the race today. And so far, I'm seeing one. The last stop, 2-tire change, no changes to the chassis. That's the way he used to operate on that red number 9 he used to drive. When they weren't making changes on the chassis during the day, they were good.
Watch that RPM there, be people. I saw a big number over there on the right-hand side.
I saw 200 miles per hour. What does that equate to for RPM?
Let's take a look down the straightaway.
He's already turning 91.
3, 4,
9,500. That's just unheard of in stock car racing.
199 miles an hour at the end of the front stretch. Bill Elliott running in 10th spot. His teammate Casey Kane is in 8th. Of course, Elliott drove the 9 car that Kane's behind the wheel of now till the end of last season when he cut his racing schedule back. He's been playing tutor to Casey Kane this year. And we asked him earlier in the weekend how he's been trying to help the young driver for Ray Evernham's team.
He's done a lot on his own, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've tried to help him a lot of the racetracks that he hadn't been to or has got a lot of question about. But, you know, he knows a lot about what he wants, and he's been able to get it real quick. And I think the other side of the coin is with him falling into where he's at from the standpoint of having Ray and Tommy and all the guys that are behind him and making that transition so much easier, that's going to be important for him to come as quick as he has up to the point that he's at today.
I would say having Bill Elliott as a tutor would be a pretty valuable resource to lean on for a rookie driver.
I'll tell you what, that 9 car is passing cars and trying to pass cars on the high side.
And I'll tell you what, did he get in the back of the 12? If he didn't, it was very, very close.
Jeremy Mayfield trying to pass Casey Kane.
Casey stuck his hand out the window to give him the move. He lost a lot of momentum. Well, he didn't take it, though, did he?
He stuck his hand out the window and said, no, cut me some slack, teammate. Let me go up here and pass this 12 car and go on. Because watching the scoring monitors, the last few laps, Casey Kane, Jeremy Mayfield have been a couple of fastest cars on the racetrack. And Kane, you're right, this outside line that he's using, if he can get real loose, getting in. That was the voice of Ryan Newman.
7th, 8th, and 9th places they're racing for here.
That is just very different. That is unbelievable, the line that Casey Kane. Look how much higher on the racetrack that he's running than Ryan Newman and passing cars.
I'm telling you, he's been doing that all day.
Wow. How impressive is that? Bill Elliott didn't teach him that, Alan.
Of course, Casey, one of those drivers trying to get into the top 10 in the NASCAR Nextel Cup standings over the next 6 races so he can be in that race for the Nextel Cup. Kane right now showing just 36 points behind Kevin Harvick. Casey running in 8th place today, Kevin Harvick in 18th.
Matt, what's Ryan saying about that 12 car? I mean, you know, he just got passed on the outside, but it seems like he can hold Mayfield off.
He told his crew chief, Matt Borland, the car is just real loose. Earlier in the race, he said he felt like he needed the help on the bottom. He just could not pass anybody on the bottom. They've been slowly working on that, Bill.
Boy, this is just turning into an outstanding run for Casey Kane. Remember, had that earlier contact on the track. They came in, worked on it, changed the tires. Last stop, 4 stickers, 2 cans. And from Tommy Baldwin to his crew, good stop to get that 9 car out there. That kid's having a great season.
I guess. Casey Kane with 4 runner-up finishes in his first half season on the NASCAR Nextel Cup circuit. He didn't even get his first Busch Series win until the last race of last year. But boy, he exploded onto the scene in 2004.
I just can't believe the line that he's taking through the corners, how high he's running. And it's working so well for him.
I want you to notice on that screen, BP, who the fastest car out there is right now.
Let's see, Matt Kenseth. But congratulations. How many laps did it take him, Alan?
Took him a while, but hey.
Asked you our Singular Wireless Race Talk poll earlier, your favorite Brickyard 400 memory. I thought this would be the one that wins.
Yeah, I figured that too.
Taylor and Hart's win in 1995. You know, and looking at the list of the drivers there who've won the Brickyard and the others who've scored victories here over the year, isn't it amazing how on one of the sport's biggest stages, its biggest stars come through? Look at the guys who've won here. Gordon and Jarrett and Elliott and Earnhardt.
Rise to the occasion.
Yep.
Casey Kane has caught Robbie Gordon in the 31 car. And Robbie's entry next to the corner is messing Kane up with his line. And he's back and getting that arrow push. Cannot get by Robbie Gordon.
And Robbie is not an easy guy to pass.
Oh, watch this. Watch.
He's going to lose his spot. Yeah.
I mean, Casey got in the corner so high that time that he lost a spot to Jeremy Mayfield.
So his teammate goes by, Mayfield into the 7th spot, came back to 8th. They're still chasing Robbie Gordon for the 6th position. Jeff Gordon is the leader. By the way, Jimmy Johnson made an extra pit stop under that last caution. He's all the way back in 32nd place. If you were looking at those championship standings earlier and noticing the gap from Jeff Gordon, the 2nd place driver in points, to Jimmy Johnson, that's because Gordon's leading, and Jimmy Johnson is way back in 32nd. Gordon out in front as the Brickyard 400 approaches the 150-mile mark. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
NBC's coverage of the Brickyard 400, presented by Exxon and Mobil Retailers, is brought to you by GM Goodwrench, home of Mr. Goodwrench, the one and only GM expert. By Twisted Crust Pizza from Pizza Hut. Gather round the good stuff. By UPS, the official express delivery company of NASCAR. UPS, we want to race the truck. People love the truck. And by Wrangler, maker of Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler.
We just crossed the 150-mile mark of the 11th Brickyard 400. Jeff Gordon leading at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Elliott Sadler 2nd, Dale Jarrett 3rd, Matt Kenseth up to 4th. those cars in the picture there. Tony Stewart is 5th. Casey Kane, who was among the top 10 a moment ago, has just come off the pit lane after an unscheduled green flag stop.
And this is why he made that unscheduled stop. Sometimes when you run that high line, you pay by getting up too high, not able to turn the car. In the wall you go. Right front tire was flat. Some pretty good damage to that car.
And so Casey Kane falls from 10th position when he hit the wall to 39th place, 1 lap down. Good news for Casey and his fans, the fact that he is the first car not on the lead lap and in position to get the free pass, the lucky dog pass, if a caution were to come out. Bill, you got more?
Boy, that's really looking for the silver lining right there, isn't it? All the way back in 39th after being up front in the Brickyard 400. Obviously brushed the wall, did the damage to the tires. They brought him in, put 4 tires on, pulled the sheet metal away. Looking at the tire now to see if they can figure out if the tire was cut before he hit the wall or after it. But that's very disappointing. We're just talking about how well he's been running here and how well he's been running all season.
Well, it looks like the way they're examining that tire, that the tire went flat, then caused him to go up and brush the wall.
I believe that's the case, Benny.
Well, where he hit the wall, it looks like that too.
Yeah.
It looks like he lost control of the car or was trying to look at all the damage on that. Is that whose car is that?
That's Tony Raines.
Okay.
Matt Kenseth, remember, took 4 tires on the pit stop earlier, was the first one off the pit lane to change 4. The guys in front of him changed 2. Now he's up trying to pressure Dale Jarrett for that number 3 position.
And the last few laps, Wally's right. He is faster than the 3 cars in front of him. Marty?
Well, BP, those 4 tires are starting to come in as he tries to pass Dale Jarrett on the inside going down the front stretch. But early in that run, he said, I was so loose, I nearly wrecked. As he completes the pass going into 1. So that moves him up now to the 3rd position, rather. So he said, I was so loose when he started down those air pressures, Wally, you were right, that I almost wrecked.
Hey, just gotta give it some time, especially when you're in traffic. It's real tricky, but if you can hang on to it and get the pressures and the temperatures up, 4 tires, always better.
That was 16 laps of racing after the pit stop, 16 laps from the green flag. How about our Stacker 2 NASCAR Nextel Cup track fact? Indianapolis Motor Speedway opened in 1909. It was originally paved with a rock and tar combination. That didn't work out very well in the opening week of racing here, so they repaved the track with 3.2 million paving bricks. And that was the surface that was put down here, hence the name, the Brickyard. Those bricks gradually replaced over the years by sections of pavement from 1936 up to 1961, with just the yard of bricks symbolically left at the start-finish line. The only of those paving bricks remain that show on this track.
Bill, what about Casey Kane? What are they saying now?
Yeah, just to put a period on it, Benny, caught right front tire before he hit the wall.
Gotcha.
So Casey Kane with a hole to dig out of, but plenty of time and opportunity left if he can catch a caution flag and get that lucky dog pass back around onto the lead lap.
I tell you what, he looked like he'd hit the wall pretty hard, but you know, he's pretty doggone fast out there.
Yeah, that's what my concern was, that they did a lot of body damage, but those guys pulled on those fenders pretty hard during that pit stop. Looks pretty good.
Remember, just a little while ago, we showed you the race to the chase. Those drivers trying to get into the top 10 and the championship standings were concerned. That cost Casey a little bit of ground. Go back to 129 points behind 10th place now. And perhaps a big exclamation point, 10th place would have changed hands as they run on the track now.
Jeremy Mayfield has got to the 10th spot. Harvick is now out of the chase for the Nextel Cup.
As they run.
As they run.
Long way to go yet today. There's Kevin Harvick in the 29 car. He is in 20th place.
Casey Kane still passing on the outside.
Sure is. Hey, if you can do that here at Indianapolis, you're great, because nobody else can do it. I mean, that is, I've not seen that happen here much.
Jeff Gordon is out in front of the Brickyard 400, the 9th Brickyard in 11 that he's led. His lead almost 3 seconds on 2nd place, Elliott Sadler. Caution is out. Sterling Marlin is in trouble.
Left front tire again.
And now it may be a camber issue we're looking at.
I just wonder if it might not be, because we talked about some guys yesterday had some little bit of trouble with left front. And we've seen several
left
flat
front
tires.
Yep. And normally, if you see more than one left front, it's a camber issue.
Sterling running in 26th place at the time of his issue. and it brings out the 5th caution of this Brickyard 400. We've had a lot of yellow flags today, and this equals the record for most cautions in a race.
Sterling, what are you doing, boy?
Sterling goes by the entrance to pit road.
Now watch, the tire's coming apart.
It's going to catch on fire.
Brake lines are going to be catching on fire, and I don't understand that one.
No.
Better to have come to pit road while it's closed and restart at the end of the line than have a torn-up race car.
And he's going to have a torn-up race car. Man, in fact, it may be really hot in a few minutes.
I tell you what, this fire, you know, lines go through the dash inside the car, and all it is rubber grommets. I mean, it's going to be in the car with him. He's got to stop.
It's burning pretty good. It's going out there. You're just going to have to let it come to you. Go ahead.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you need to get in pit lane as fast as you can.
What happened to Sterling Marlin?
Now he feels the tire going flat down the backstretch.
That was out of turn 2.
There it goes completely flat.
I don't understand why he drove around.
Well, and the crew is saying catch up, but they just didn't realize. Look at all these sparks. And the sparks are setting the rubber on fire.
Wow, what a great picture.
Man.
Just grinding bits and parts and pieces right off the race car.
Yeah, you're catching up doesn't mean anything if your race car falls apart because you're trying to catch up and you don't have a left front wheel.
And once again, that firewall is nothing but sheet metal with some rubber grommets in there that lets lines go through. It doesn't take much to melt those grommets and the fire go inside with the driver.
Sterling has climbed from the car and gotten into the ambulance for the trip to the Infield Medical Center. And once again, the Chevy Monte Carlo pace car is out in front of the Brickyard 400 field. Chevrolet, the official pace car of NASCAR. Record equaling caution, 5th yellow flag of this race.
We keep talking about the camber issue. Let's go inside our Home Depot garage and see if we can explain what's happening. There, see, the tire is straight up and down. This is the right front tire. You lean the tire in, so that means that down the straightaway, all this is, that's all the tire that's meeting the road. And you just can't cool the tire that much. You see down the straightaway, the green front, that's all it touches the racetrack. You get that so hot, there's no time to cool it.
And that's where all your wear is. You're wearing that strip of the tire out. But that's what you gain in a corner. The tire patch hits the whole racetrack and it gives you more traction. But like BP says, down the straightaway, it just kills the inside of the tire.
Bill, you got more on this?
Just that Goodyear is going to the teams right now, Wally and Benny, and telling them for the air pressure, minimum or higher. They're concerned that the teams are not meeting the minimum suggested air pressure for these tires. They want the air pressure minimum or better to help the tire wear.
Well, that's another thing. Anytime, I mean, you've seen flat tires on street cars. Anytime they're low, they get very hot. Well, they don't put enough air pressure in these tires, they get warm, and that just leads to a bigger problem with that left front.
Now, who'll get 2 tires and who'll get 4 here, because it's not been that long since they were on pit road. Matt?
The 20 crew waiting for Tony Stewart to make his way to his pit stall. The car, he said, much like yesterday's final practice, very temperamental, going back toward the tie side. They're going to try to fix it with air pressure adjustment and a track bar adjustment. Dave.
Bottom of your screen, Dale Jarrett will take on 4 tires. Slight air pressure adjustment adding to the right rear. That will help loosen up the car. He was just a bit tight through the corners. Marty?
38 car in the middle of your screen in second place, Dave. He said extremely loose on that run. Put the air pressure back where it was. Half pound out of the right rear, pound in the left rear. Bill? 24 car of Gordon, slight air pressure adjustment. He's a little freeze on his way. 38's going to beat him. Marty? Bill, Matt Kenseth, the fastest car on the racetrack at the end of that run. 4 tires for him. Car was loose, half pound on the right rear tire, half round down on the track bar.
Boy, that's a negotiation exiting your pit stall on there, isn't it?
Tight.
Jeff Gordon holding on to the lead, or did he? Elliott Sadler in front of him on the pit exit. We'll check the camera when we come back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Some 250,000 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today watching the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. Under caution for the 5th time in the race. Leaders all on pit road, and who got out first?
38. Way to go, guys.
Elliott Sadler is squeezing in front of Jeff Gordon in line at pit exit. And squeezing in front of people in line at pit exit was a big story on this set of pit stops.
You know what happens? You have so many cars on the lead lap, Wally. The pit stops are finished while other cars are still trying to come in.
Yeah, you see Ward Burton ducking into his pit right in front of everybody that already completed their pit, like Matt Kenseth and 88 car 20. Everybody had to jam on the brakes, and I'm telling you, the pits are crazier here than it's on the racetrack.
Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett getting together on the pit lane in the traffic jam.
And this jam happened right in front of him.
It just touched him, and that might have done some damage to Tony's car. You talked about that at the very top of the show, and it is important. Be careful on pit road.
The grill openings on these cars are very small as well, and you got to be careful. You wrinkle that sheet metal in, it's a problem. Matt?
Spotter Mark Robertson told Tony and Greg Zipadelli, the car looks good on both ends.
Good enough.
Yeah, that was an easy enough hit.
And it does look very clean. How about the McDonald's Drive-Thru Pit Crew Championship fueled by Powerade? Greg Biffle's team spent the least amount of time on pit road at Pocono last Sunday among participating teams. They get the check for $20 grand. And a change in the season-long standings. Elliott Sadler's team easing ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew. That's $200 grand that's worth at year's end. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, Alan, they've won 3 of the last 5 weeks in the weekly competition. As you mentioned, Greg Biffle's team won last week. But this team has done a great job lately. They've nicknamed themselves Chocolate Thunder. And they just gave Elliott Sadler the lead in the Brickyard 400.
I get it. Their sponsor, chocolate. Okay.
Todd Parrott, crew chief, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Kevin Hall, front carrier, Gloucester, Virginia. Daryl Lockyer, front tire changer, Gore Hills, California.
Rodney Fetters, Jackman, Niagara Falls, New York.
Lance Hanna, rear tire carrier, Weatherford, Texas. Dave Smith, rear changer, Millersville, Maryland.
Preston Cordell, gasman, Middleburg, Florida.
Jay Thompson, catch can, Omaha, Nebraska.
Phil Horton, pit crew coach, Lenore, North Carolina.
Yeah, Alan, you get the Chocolate Thunder thing now, don't you? But anyway, Elliott, when he got off pit road, said, guys, that's what I needed. All I need is a little clean air.
Okay, we'll see.
Hey, if you can pass Jeff Gordon in the pits, it's a heck of a lot easier than doing it on the racetrack.
What we've seen today, it's a lot easier.
Elliott Sadler's led 25 laps today. Jeff Gordon, 42. Other lap leaders, pole sitter Casey Mears for the first 2 circuits. Jimmy Spencer and Derek Hope each stayed out and led a lap under the caution flag. 5 days away. That's all it is. And the Olympics come home to Greece. The moment's finally arrived. The youth of the world from over 200 countries will gather for the spectacular ceremony leading up to the lighting of the Olympic flame. The opening ceremony of the Games of the 28th Olympiad, Friday, 8 Eastern and Pacific on NBC.
Now, this is something that we haven't seen all day. Got a lap car down there.
Dave Blaney
be in the mix on the restart.
Elliott Sadler leads Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, Dale Jarrett, and Tony Stewart. Then you've got Ryan Newman, Robbie Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Jeremy Mayfield, and Greg Biffle. By the way, Casey Kane back on the lead lap. Oh, contact.
Almost contact. Oh, is that Rusty? Oh, Rusty getting trouble.
Wallace is into the wall. And a big mess. Scott Riggs has crashed. More contact.
Right in front. Oh, man.
Terry Labonte in the 5, smoking and steaming.
Has no place to go with the 10 car.
Ward Burton.
Outside pole sitter Ward Burton. Heavy damage to that car.
Those cars look exactly the same, damage-wise.
The front straightaway here at Indianapolis is pretty narrow. When you turn a race car sideways between those 2 walls, there's not a whole lot of room.
I don't know what happened to Rusty, but when I looked up, Rusty was definitely getting passed on both sides, and I don't know what happened to him on the restart, but
Scott Wimmer has some pretty good damage to the left front fender. It was a very slow restart, and I think behind they just got anticipating the start, and I know Biffle and someone made contact.
Yeah, you get that accordion effect here. See if we can see. I think that's Rusty right behind Biffle.
I think it is too.
And it looks like maybe, is that Casey
Mears?
Yep.
And then And somebody, Rusty bounces off of Casey,
Yeah.
and somebody behind him, maybe Jeff Burton in that black car, the 99.
That's exactly what
Looks like it might have.
Rusty went up and drove into the door of Casey Mears, and I think it cost him.
Watch that 10 car. Right in front of Terry Labonte and Ward Burton. And Ricky Rudd somehow squeezes through the hole. I don't know how much damage he has. He has to have some. Watch this 10 car fly. Oh man.
He got drilled by...
that was where Scott Wimmer got the damage.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's Kyle Petty's the last one to get a piece of this. Watch for a red, white, and blue car just to get a piece of the back end of this. I think he caught Bobby Labonte.
I think Rusty was trying to squeeze up in between Biffle and Casey Mears.
Wow, Kurt Busch just missed another one.
Yeah.
And then just to the right of the screen, Kyle Petty just gets a piece of Bobby Labonte. I stand by my original statement. Big mess.
Yes.
I think Rusty's just trying to get in between the two cars of Casey Mears.
And I think Biffle was coming back up the racetrack. He'd gone low, and I think he was coming back up the racetrack to try to get his entry into the corner, and Rusty trying to go through those two. And I think Rusty had to check up because of Biffle coming up the hill.
Boy, still the end result that cost him. Cost a lot of guys.
This would be a view. Rusty Wallace.
See, when Biffle starts coming up, he backs on to avoid hitting the 16 and someone runs in the back of him.
Michael Waltrip's view.
Spin on the front stretch, on the bottom. Cars are on the bottom. Wow, look at
that. Joey, how descriptive. Joey Meyer, the crew chief. I mean, the spotter on the 15 car.
He's going to try to pull that fender out for Rusty.
There's a mess there, Dave.
Actually, you know, it looks survivable right now in terms of getting that car back on the track up to speed. The one really alarming thing for Rusty was he came down pit road and said, guys, I'm not even touching the throttle, and it's up. In other words, there's something with the throttle linkage. They went under the hood, they checked it, they put the hood back down and put the pins in, so they must have loosened that up for Rusty a little bit. But otherwise, I think he may be able to still be competitive here. Marty?
Well, Dave, back in the garage area, Scott Riggs already here. What started all that?
I don't know. You know, it restarts. Everybody trying to get a little edge on the next guy. Just saw the two get in trouble there and turn and not hit the wall. And I checked up, and somebody behind me didn't check up and just got creamed from behind. And then just a big chain reaction. Everybody just trying to get their momentum going and going to drive by the wreck instead of just slow down and take care of it. But just hate it. You know, that's typical luck that the number 10 Valvoline car has been having here lately. We've been having good cars and didn't qualify where we wanted to, just like last week. Didn't qualify very good. We were driving our way up to the front, making changes, and the car was getting better every time. And you know, we're gonna show them we had a good day. We just can't seem to make it to the checkered flag.
I mean, this is a damaged number 10 race car. I don't know if they'll be able to make it back into the race, Alan.
They got some work to do.
Getting creamed was the proper term.
Yes.
Because he did get creamed from behind. I mean,
he got jacked up.
Man, he got hit hard.
So pit road closed while the cleanup continues by the pit exit, where some of those cars and a lot of the debris came to rest. You see the work ongoing there by the track safety crew. And this was on a restart from a caution. Be interesting to see if anybody does come back into pit. Maybe some of the guys in the back that ran through debris. We'll see when we come back. The 11th running of the Brickyard 400 under the caution flag after a big mess on the restart. Jam things up on the front straightaway. Brickyard 400, presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil retailers, under caution for a sixth time when the restart from the fifth caution went bad for about 8 drivers.
And there are the 8 involved. Ward Burton, Scott Riggs, I don't think are going to be back.
And Terry Labonte with some very heavy damage to his car.
Rusty's still out there. Ricky's still out there.
And Wimmer. Yep.
Wimmer's still out there.
Kyle Petty and Jeff Burton continuing as well, but getting some repairs made to their cars. Pit road's still closed. It has not been opened yet, but it will be this time by.
So 2 tires?
Well, I don't know.
I wouldn't take any if I were the front runners.
Some of these guys I don't think will pit because they just had pitted before the big wreck.
See, first taker looks like Jamie McMurray, and that is going to be the 19th place car. I wouldn't give up the track position if I'm any of the front running guys, because we never ran a full lap at speed on the tires before the wreck.
It's just if you drove through something.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason you'd come in up front. If you think you drove over some debris.
And you see, you can't make it from here on one more stop. You're going to have to stop twice, so they'll just race along maybe to the next caution or whenever the pit stop is going to happen. These guys will only have a lap or 2 advantage on them.
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson, yet another pit stop. He's been in there a couple times today for extended periods. This one to top off the fuel only, and he rejoins the race. We'll come back and rejoin the Brickyard 400 as they continue the cleanup here in Indianapolis.
Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where Jimmy Johnson currently runs 24th, the championship leader. Chad Canals, you're his crew chief. I know this is painful for you, but what's going on out there?
I wish I knew when we tried to fix it, I can tell you that. We haven't been right all weekend. You know, we were decent in qualifying, and that's really about it. Ever since we got into the race room, we haven't been able to get a handle on this little Chevrolet. But, you know, Jimmy's sticking with us. He's trying his heart out there. The guys are working their butts off over there making adjustments. We're going to keep working on it. The car's just too loose right down the center of the corner. We don't really know what's going on, so we're just going to have to kind of suffer through the day and, you know, walk out here with our heads held high and move on.
You think you can help it, Chad?
We've been trying for 2 days. I don't know if we can do any better now, but we're going to keep working on it, I can tell you that.
Did the spin hurt him?
No, the spin didn't hurt the car at all. It maybe hurt confidence a little bit, but didn't hurt the race car any.
All right, man, good luck. And they just pitted. It was a fuel-only stop.
Struggling day for the championship leader.
Okay.
Elliott Sadler leads. Jeff Gordon second. Matt Kenseth third. Dale Jarrett fourth. Tony Stewart fifth. Last time we tried to restart, we ended up with a big mess down towards turn 1. Let's see what happens this time.
Well, a lot of the problem is the restart is slow.
Yeah, very slow.
That causes trouble when you have a slow restart like that. I think everybody was ready for it this time.
Back in the back, Junior. Oh, here we go. Battle for the lead. Gordon looking on the inside. Takes it away.
Man, that didn't take long.
Sir. Gave up the lead to Elliott Sadler on a pit stop. Rode around for a while behind him under the caution after the restart crash previously. And now, right away, Jeff Gordon back out in front.
That has to hurt the confidence of the 38 driver just a little bit when it comes to thoughts of winning.
And a change behind them. Tony Stewart around Dale Jarrett to pick up fourth. Stewart in the 20 on the move toward the front.
17 a little loose off turn 4. Which allowed Tony Stewart to gain right up on the back bumper and take that spot away.
Now, don't forget, that was his issue last time, too. Real loose on new tires. Took, what, about 15 laps, we said, Alan?
Yeah, it's 16 laps before he kind of gained back what he lost initially. So while Elliott Sadler pursues Jeff Gordon, we look at Tony Stewart, who says winning at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the thing he's most passionate about. He's had heartbreak here. He dominated this race last year. Remember how much of this race he led? Then they came down pit road, had a bad pit stop, had an air wrench break on a late pit stop, fell from 1st to 7th. That was just past about the 2/3 mark of the race. Then stopped again under caution with 19 to go and never got his track position back. The man who won the race last year, Kevin Harvick, who started deep in the field today, 32nd. Matt, he is into the top 10.
Knowing they were starting that deep in the field, crew chief Todd Berrier tried a 2-tire adjustment in the final practice session. Did 2 right side tires and an air pressure adjustment, because typically 2 tires will tighten the car up. His car was tight in the last stop, but they went for track position. Climbed from 20th to 8th. If they hadn't gone with a 2-tire stop, no telling if they would have been involved in that crash. They have a 40-point lead over Jeremy Mayfield. He's trying to hang on to that top 10 spot to have a shot at the title. And look who is chasing down the 29.
As a matter of fact, he's not chasing him anymore. Jeremy Mayfield drove by him.
And here goes Biffle by him.
Yeah, there goes 3 more points by him.
So Kevin Harvick is now at the backside of the top 10 and being pursued by Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the number 10 position.
I think Junior's going to go by him here real quick. Like that.
Another 3 points.
An exchange of positions among the Gillette Young Guns. Drivers involved in that program. First micro-power shaving system from Gillette. The new M3 Power. The new power behind the Gillette Young Guns. They're performing fairly well in today's Brickyard 400. Matt Kenseth leading the charge there for that group of drivers. Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked a lot about him lately in the race. Running up front earlier, fell back some. Now he's just climbed back inside the top 10. How about Junior, Dave?
Would you like a little more information, Alan, on the 8? Is that what you're saying? What's happened to him, right?
I knew you could provide it if I asked for it.
Well, exactly. Actually, he's had a very tight race car. In fact, they talked about hooking up the rear bar on that car, which is an adjustment you make, a big adjustment to loosen up the rear, but they didn't do that. They put spring rubbers in the rear, which in the right rear, which will help do that. But it's gotten better. In fact, last time they had to make another big adjustment, but it keeps getting a little bit better. So a very tight race car, working on it.
Let's go back into the garage where some of the drivers whose cars were more heavily damaged in that restart crash have climbed from their machines. Marty?
Yeah, long time in the infield care center, Alan, for Ward Burton. First of all, you okay? And what happened to start all that mess?
I couldn't see it. That's the reason I got in the wreck. I saw the 10 car at the very last moment. I thought the 15 had just pulled out, was going to get a run, so I was going to go by him on the outside. He had too much momentum going. There was actually a wreck in front of me, and Spot and I communicated just a little bit too late there, but bad deal for that dealer Chevrolet. All the guys worked really hard. We had alternator cut out on us, and that ruined our track position, but we're starting to get the car back in shape. Just one of those parts of racing that you can't control.
All right, Terry Labonte was in the infield care center. He has been let go. Both Ward and Terry are just fine.
Good news, Marty. Ward Burton starting on the front row for today's Brickyard 400. He'll not finish. Scott Riggs, Terry Labonte, Ward Burton, Sterling Marlin, along with Derek Pope, Todd Bodine, Scott Pruitt, and Jason Leffler are the drivers in the garage. It's been almost a perfect day for Jeff Gordon, that driver.
And I talked to Robbie Loomis, the crew chief for the 24 car this morning, and I can't tell you how jacked up he was about trying to win the Brickyard 400. He won here before, and he wants back. Yeah. He's had the taste of victory once. He wants some more.
And Elliott Sadler hoping to taste victory at the Brickyard for the first time. Here's a driver who struggled here, never finished better at this track than 21st in his 5 previous tries here. Looking back on Jeremy Mayfield, talked about he and Kevin Harvick involved in that fight for 10th place in the championship. Mayfield up into the top 10 in the race today, Bill.
Absolutely, Alan. His best finish here is 5th, and that car has been pretty good throughout the first half of the race right now. Just a little bit tight. Talking to Kenny Francis, the crew chief, took just a little bit of wedge out of it. Wait to see how it handles on this run. Just a strong run for Mayfield. Made the comment coming here. He believes this track owes him one. Not a lot of drivers will tell you that.
Mayfield working on Ryan Newman for a spot. Things just so close in that race to the chase. 6th on back through 15th. Any of those positions could change over the final 6 races before the Richmond Cutoff.
You see, Bobby Labonte has now moved back to that 10 spot, and he's only 14 points in front of Jeremy Mayfield.
Ryan Newman just gets moved back 2 spots on the racetrack.
Both Mayfield and Greg Biffle went past him, sending Newman back to 9th. Just past halfway in the 11th Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Through the field, when we come back, you're watching NASCAR on NBC. Back at Indianapolis, the caution flag is out. The championship leader is in trouble. Jimmy Johnson off the pace, radioing back to his crew seconds ago. The engine has let go.
Comes off turn 4 underneath Jeff Burton, and all of a sudden starts slowing, and we see that telltale sign of smoke out the back of the car.
Jimmy Johnson has only fallen out of 2 races so far this season, Rockingham and Dover, both because of accidents. This would be the first engine-related problem that his team has suffered this season. Here's what he said to his crew chief, Chad Knaus, when it happened.
Did it blow up? Oh, did it blow up? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
So Johnson will go to the garage. And I know in the bigger picture of the way that they're determining the champion this year, this is not as big a story as it might have been, but Jeff Gordon is going to knock a huge chunk off of Jimmy Johnson's lead today if Gordon can have a good finish.
Although Gordon's probably a little bit worried right now about what happened in that engine of the 48 car.
See, Jimmy needs to stop right now and not interfere with all these pit stops. Stop it. Let that record push you in later. Now then, all these cars can make it on one more stop.
Haven't run that many laps on this set of tires. Do you take tires? What do you do, Matt?
Some guys possibly going for 2. The 20 guys have 4 up on the wall. A slight track bar adjustment again by Shaggy. The car just starts out way too free for Tony the first 3 or 4 laps before it finally starts to come in. Going to try to quicken that up, Marty.
Elliott Sadler in second place hits pit road. He said, you know what, we're very, very good right now. Talking to his crew chief, Todd Barrett. I want no changes on the chassis. 2 tires for track position. Bill.
Jeff Gordon's already on his way. Said the car is the best it's been all day. Up and off the turns, 2 right side tires and fuel. Burns.
A 2-tire track position stop for Dale Jarrett. They also made a track bar adjustment car just a little bit tight in the center of the corners.
Robbie Gordon out quickly. Matt Kenseth out quickly. We'll follow up on the strategy when we come back. The Brickyard 400 under caution. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
NBC's coverage of the Brickyard 400, presented by Exxon and Mobil Retailers, is brought to you by your Exxon and Mobil Retailers, who wish all of the drivers a great race today. By Nextel, coast-to-coast walkie-talkie. Nextel, done. By KFC's $4 meals. 3 tasty meals complete with 2 sides and a biscuit for only $4 each. By Budweiser, it's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser, the race is on. And by Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Beautiful day for the fans here in Speedway, Indiana, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, watching the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. It is under caution now for a 7th time after the championship leader Jimmy Johnson's day turned not so beautiful. And an engine expired on his car. We'll hear from him in the garage in just a minute. As a matter of fact, Marty's got him now.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson climbs from the car. Wow, what a crazy day for you guys. Did you have any indication that was coming?
No, that was a freak deal there. I'm certain. It seems like maybe the crank or something just let go coming off of 4, but that car was so loose into the turns. Spun out once and had a few more good saves, but just just one of those bad days that you have. And last week we were the heroes, and today we definitely weren't that. Maybe our teammate can do it, but Lowe's team, we just missed it today and had an unfortunate break with the engine.
Under the old system, this would have been a dagger, Jimmy, but under this new system, does this really hurt at all?
I mean, it's, you can look at it either way. I mean, we have a nice cushion. It would have been nice to have that with the old system. Now, I mean, it all resets here in a little bit anyways, but we don't want to have failures, period. We want to be out there competing for every win. So we're more disappointed in that than anything.
This team has been on such a roll lately. You know this is a rare fact when they're out of the race early.
So Jimmy Johnson in the garage area done, potentially finishing 35th or worse in today's Brickyard 400. And we check our Lowe's improvers and snoozers on the day, who's moved up nicely from the start of the race.
Dave Blaney got the Lucky Dog Award. He's all the way up to 12th spot now.
Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth also on the improver side of the ledger. On the other side of the coin.
Oh, with one of the snoozers now, huh?
Yeah, guys who've had troubles.
Ward Burton, outside posts that are involved in the crash. Sterling Marlin, Car caught on fire after he had a left front tire go flat.
And Jimmy Johnson, we just talked to, who's in the garage with an engine failure. So 69, there'll be 68 laps to go when they come back around for the restart. Everybody should be good to make the finish on one more stop fuel-wise, depending how the cautions fly, keeping in mind, of course, the new green-white checker finish possibility that exists if a caution comes out in the closing laps of the race that could send this thing to overtime. We'll have to see. From Indianapolis, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series moves on to Watkins Glen, New York, next Sunday. It'll be on TNT. We start with the Discover Card Countdown to Green at 1:30 Eastern Time, the famed road course in the Finger Lakes region of New York. They'll turn right, they'll turn left, they'll go uphill, they'll go downhill.
They'll break some transmissions.
And they'll bounce off each other a little bit, too.
And it's fun. These guys love racing around Watkins Glen. It's a fun thing to drive.
Next Sunday on TNT. Pace cars off. Jeff Gordon to lead the field down to the restart. Elliott Sadler second, Matt Kenseth third, Robbie Gordon fourth, and Dale Jarrett fifth.
Ready and clearing green.
Up there, right in sixth.
Had a lot of two-tire stops on that caution flag, Wally. A lot of guys getting their track position in order for that last run to the checkered flag. Jeremy Mayfield, first one up in line that I can see that got 4 tires on his pit stop, and he's in 8th place.
And that will benefit him if this thing goes green and it's one more stop, and all he has to do is take 2 and fuel.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. working on Joe Nemechek. That'll be for 10th place. Tony Stewart just went by Nemechek for 9th.
I saw dust fly from the back of the 8 car. I guess it was the oil drop put down. I thought for a second that he had an engine problem, but he still continues on. Dave, what about the 8 car?
Well, BP Junior radioed in that the change they made last time was so good he wanted more of it. That was going up on the track bar to loosen up the car. So they did more of it this time. The other concern might have been the motor after they saw Jimmy Johnson's motor go. But you know what? Junior wasn't that concerned. Listen.
Our motor makes it to the end of this race. That's a big high five to the whole engine department because it's turning a lot of RPM. At the end of the straightaway, it's sustaining a lot of RPMs, and it hauls ass too. It's a real good motor here.
No concern, guys, but of course he knows what he's doing to that motor here at Indy.
Tony Stewart going by the 25 car Brian Vickers, and Junior trying his best to get by Jeremy Mayfield. Looks like he's opened up that hole and trying to drive in it.
I think Tony Stewart's in a hurry.
Yes. And they are turning these cars a lot of RPMs. It used to be they had like a passing gear. We would run a gear like you could put it in third and would run more RPMs. Yeah. In case you were trying to pass somebody, you could get it done with more RPMs. But now they're running the RPM so high, you can't do it. Fourth gear, they're turning to 95, 96 plus 100 RPMs. Whoa.
Wow. 3 wide again. Woo. Thought Mayfield was going to go in between those guys.
I think he thought about it.
He had visions of doing that. All of a sudden now, Jeremy Mayfield seems to be going to the back. Bill, anything wrong?
There's nothing wrong, and that's surprising because they took 4 tires. Jeremy knew a lot of guys were taking 2, but as crew chief told him, this isn't the time yet in the race to take 2 tires. We're taking 4, we'll be okay, and we'll see what happens.
And Bill, he's probably going through exactly what Kenseth went through. Oh, we got another.
Brendan Gaughan.
Cut a tire when they made contact.
Into the wall in turn 2. Don't come back into traffic. Wow.
I wonder if they cut that left rear when they bounced off each other.
Looks like it did, and it instantly cut that left rear tire.
Brendan Gaughan, the rookie driver out of Las Vegas, in his first Brickyard 400. He was running in 13th place, and now he's got a very heavily damaged race car.
Those fenders are sharp. When you run into somebody or somebody runs into you, it cuts the sidewall of that tire. Boy.
A bitter disappointment for the sponsor on that car there, an Indiana company, just down the road.
Yeah. Jasper, Indiana. Boy, Jimmy Howell's arm's going to be sore from waving that caution flag today. This is yellow flag number 8 in this race.
See what happens here. You see him get underneath.
And right there, they made contact.
That's what it was. It just cut that tire.
And crunch.
I wonder if it did any damage to the right front fender on that 9 car.
Oh, boy, who was that took to the grass?
That was a good move. That was
probably Tony Raines, maybe in the 23.
I don't know. We'll just see on this look, because if whoever it was, that was one heck of a move to keep from hitting Brendan.
Yep, Tony Raines.
Nice job, Tony. Rusty Wallace has seen his share of adventure today.
Wait a minute. No,
Come to the caution. Come to the caution. Clear all around.
So pit road is closed because Brendan Gaughan's car sits on the pit exit road that they take to get back around onto the racetrack. We'll take a break. From Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, still under caution. 97 laps on the board in the Brickyard 400. Jeff Gordon currently scored as the leader. I'm standing by with his crew chief, Robbie Loomis, but instead of talking to me right now, he's talking to his driver. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, buddy. How good is that car?
Jeff Gordon's doing a great job in the DuPont Chevrolet. This race team's really on today. Car, extremely strong on the start of a run right after we get tires. I would like to say hello to Mary Hendrick at home, Rick's mom, and John Hendrick. We're missing them, and our thoughts are with them, and trying to get this DuPont Chevrolet a victory today.
Robbie, we talked this morning about guys running for the win at Indianapolis, about pushing everything just a little bit more to win here. Can you explain that?
It's just a situation, we want to win all this new format we have, the chase for the championship. Right now we can be real aggressive, learn all the things we can going into the final 10 races. It's a nice setup, and right now we're learning some things here at Indianapolis. Just real thankful to be here.
And this morning he told me he really wants that win here today. Snyder.
Weber, it's been a terrific day for Elliott Sadler, the man in second place, and Todd Parrott is his crew chief. Todd, you're really good, but not quite as good as the 24, it seems like right now.
Yeah, the 24 is really good. Been good all day long, and guys in the pits have been flawless pretty much all day. We've had a great car. Elliott's doing a great job. Robert Yates, Roush engine's running really strong, and if I was Robbie sitting over on that box, I'd be a little concerned about the engine in the 24 being that 48 blew up this early. So maybe
good point, yeah.
Maybe you ought to back it down just a little bit, and maybe try to save some for the end. But no, all in all, the guys have done great on this M&M's Ford Taurus, and I'd like to say hello to Tyler and Chandler back home, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
He's about 100 feet down pit road, so you can go tell him yourself. Dave?
Earlier this year, Robbie Gordon had to leave the Indy 500 early because of rain delays to get to the Coke 600. Chris, you going to stay in the car all day today and try to win this thing?
Absolutely. That's what we came for.
How is the car right now, and does he need anything else?
No, we just need to run 60 more laps like we are. The singular wireless Monte Carlo has been strong all day. The pit crew's done great. I know Robbie's excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and hopefully put a finish together here, finish what his team deserves.
All right, there's that word strong again from the 31 car. Matt?
Tony Stewart's been running in the top 10 most of the afternoon. Zippy, you guys continue to work on it, and you got it close enough for him to do the rest.
I don't know, we made some adjustments there last time. It seemed like it took off a little better. We stalled it getting off pit road and lost some spots, but Home Depot Chevrolets run really well. We weren't very good yesterday. We had a lot of wholesale changes this morning. Tony's he's up on the wheel. He's pretty excited to be here. It's probably been the funnest, relaxed Indy weekend for this group, so hopefully that'll bring good things for us by the end of the day.
Now, last year, he said he changed his approach to winning this race. He said, try to go back to more of having fun. Have you seen that in him?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, and we just get so amped up and try to make so much out of it. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, it pays the same amount of points. We're going to try and get ourselves in the top 5 all day and put ourselves in position to win it come the end of the day. And, we've always tried to lead every lap and run away from the field, and we've come close the last 2 years, but we haven't been there at the end. So we're just going to relax, have fun, keep the fenders on it, and be there at the end.
Tony Stewart's dream to win a race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 5th in the Indy 500, his best finish. His best finish here, 5th. Marty.
Well, Robbie Reiser, you've got Matt Kenseth in position to win this thing. What's it going to take to pull it off?
Well,
we're probably one stop away, so we're going to need a real good pit stop. And, we need some green lap racing here. We've been under caution most of the time, so we haven't been able to really get running. But our car's real strong in the long run, and I think if we get an opportunity, we'll have a chance here.
He's finished second and third in the last two. Brickyard 400's currently third.
8th caution flag of this Brickyard 400 is out as we come to the 250-mile mark, and we're setting up for a dash to the finish. The restart when we come back. You're watching the Brickyard 400 presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil Retailers. We're back in a minute. The fans all stand as the field comes to the line for the restart. 59 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Just across the 250-mile mark, Jeff Gordon leads the field to turn 1. And Elliott Sadler have dominated this race. Right now, Matt Kenseth and Robbie Gordon are trying to chase them down. Dale Jarrett lurking back in 5th. There are 32 cars on the lead lap at this point in the race. We've had a lot of cautions to keep them that way.
Tell you what, that 31 car is no slouch. Robbie Gordon is pretty doggone good.
The car it looks to me as it's loose, but he is driving it in pretty hard, even though it's loose. Normally you lose a little ground driving into the corner if your car's loose, but
Robbie Gordon running in 4th position now, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking 8th away from Brian Vickers down into turn 1. Let's hear for the most recent victim of a crash here today in the Brickyard 400. Marty.
Brendan Gaughan, who has walked from the infield care center to the tire cut as soon as you guys made contact, looked like it did.
Just impatience, he went up there and no need to do it. We were all stacked up. And Shane Wilson, the Jasper guys, they made a great call. We've been fighting in the back, made the race car better, took a 2-tire stop, and we were going to hold our own for the Jasper guys. And tough way to get on NBC finally. But, good to see you, Marty.
All right, it's nice seeing you too, Brendan. Wally, he talked about that sound, the sound you hate when you hear the tire cut and then blow and then go into the wall. He said that's just the worst sound he's ever heard in his entire life.
Yeah, sometimes it's silence right before you hit the wall, but yeah, it's ugly.
Greg Biffle on the move in the 16 car, taking 9th spot away from Brian Vickers. Biffle started this race back in 35th position. This is a backup car. He had a crash in practice on Friday just before the end of practice. Qualified the car with no time on it in practice. Then only ran one of the 2 final practices yesterday as he had a helicopter over to Indianapolis Raceway Park to run the NASCAR Busch Series race last night.
These Evernham guys have been around each other all day.
They have, and that time Casey Kane backed off. He was not as aggressive trying to get by the 25 car as he has been, probably because of the contact he just made with the 77 car.
How about the red cars, Bill?
How about those Evernham Motorsports cars, AB? Casey Kane in the 9, Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. As for the 9, had that contact on the track. Spotter looked at it, said the car was okay. Tommy Baldwin said your running times are right there with the leader. That was before the caution came out. But then under caution, Baldwin told Kane, you got a good little hot rod. We will be in the top 5 at the end of the day. Stay with it, he told his driver. As for Mayfield, still having a good run. Matt?
Ryan Newman restarted 15th, has climbed up to 13th. 2 stops ago, contact on pit road caused damage to the hood. His car has been junk ever since. Extremely loose. Right side tires, the battle for second place. Right side tires on his last stop, and a number of adjustments to try to tighten that race car up.
Here comes Matt Kenseth, driver that nearly won the Brickyard 400. 12 months ago, was just taking 2nd place away from Elliott Sadler. Sadler and Jeff Gordon have dominated this race, but now the 38 car sliding back a little bit.
Telling you, these guys are going to have to worry about that 17 car. And there he goes again, sliding up the racetrack.
All of a sudden, the 38 car just does not look nearly as good as it has all day long.
Robbie Gordon by. Here comes Dale Jarrett by Elliott Sadler.
He thinks he's got a tire going down. It's okay there.
I think Elliott Sadler's been in any farther back than second for just about the entire day. What about that 38 car, Marty?
Well, Elliott has not said a word on the radio since this run started, Alan, but remember, they're on 2 tires, and he said it's looser on 2 tires. He did not like the setup on 2 tires. He wanted 4 for the end of the race, and I think it takes also a while for that 38 car to come in the way Elliott likes it to.
So Elliott back to 5th place now. I have to check, but I don't think he's run that far back in this race the entire day, except when people shuffled around a little bit on pit stops.
I agree with you. He's been in the top 2. He started 3rd and was 2nd, I think, on the first lap.
Now Mark Martin coming up behind Sadler, trying to put some pressure on. His teammate Dale Jarrett there in the 88 car looking awfully good in these late laps now.
Here it is, putting some pressure on a 31 car, Robbie Gordon. Dave, what are they saying about Robbie's car?
What did you say earlier that you thought there, Wally?
I thought he was loose.
He was on before the last stop. They put on 2 right side tires and made no adjustments, hoping that would help him, but he's still a bit loose.
Well, a little bit loose is okay here. A little bit loose is better than, I think, tight. But just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Robbie Gordon having run the Indianapolis 500-mile race 9 times, the Brickyard 400, this now his 5th. Dale Jarrett has won this race 2 times. He comes into this weekend's event, one of those drivers close in that race to the chase, 14th in points, and only 103 out of 10th place. He said, though, at Indianapolis, points don't count. It's all about winning.
It doesn't matter. You're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's about winning here, about visiting that victory lane that only a very select few people have ever done. The 2 times that I've been there are some of the most special days that I've ever had, and done as much for my career as anything that has ever taken place.
1996 and 1999, the 2 times Dale Jarrett has won this race. Dave, he's in pretty good shape right now.
And his car is a little bit loose at the start of the runs, but then it starts to come around. In fact, that backs up exactly what DJ told me before the start today. He said, I need a long run, 12, 15, maybe 20 laps before I can be the best compared to everybody else.
I think there's a few cars like that, Dave. I think the 17, talked to the crew chief there. As Robbie said, hey, need some laps, need some green laps.
Elliott Sadler talked about having a very strong engine in his car. Dale Jarrett, his teammate, same thing. 200 miles an hour into turn 1.
And all these Fords now run the same engine. Doug Yates builds engines for all the Roush cars, all the Yates cars. 17 car, Matt Kenseth. You know, I talked a couple of weeks ago about how they did not test here. They did not come. They saved that test date because they wanted it for the final 10 races of the year. They went to Milwaukee, tested. Guess what? That's not the car they tested. This is a brand new car that hasn't been on a racetrack. They brought it to Indy cold turkey because they felt like it would be better, and looks like it is. Marty?
Yeah, BP, this new car has a different aerodynamic package than they've run all year long, so I think they may bring this one back for the last 10 races of the season. Looks like Matt Kenseth will be in the chase for the championship. When they went back to green, he said it feels like the race just started because there's been so many caution laps today. The car getting better for Matt. He's been loose most of the day. His car is now just a little bit tight. Very happy, very fast, trying to track down the 24.
Talking championships, so let's check the championship standings as they run. Remember, Jimmy Johnson is out of this race with an engine failure. Probably going to finish 36th. Jeff Gordon is leading. And what was a 232-point gap between the two starting the day looks like 100 right now with 50 laps to go.
We're not interested in that, are we, Wally?
No.
We want to go back here.
This is where it gets interesting.
That's right. Kevin Harvick, 10th spot, 578 points back. But
wow,
Jeremy Mayfield only 3 points out.
Oh, look at all the way to 14th.
40
points.
Only 40 points out.
As they run.
As they run.
Greg Biffle having a pretty solid day up there, trying to hang on to the 9th spot, Matt.
last Sunday at Pocono, scored his season's first top 5 finish, hoping to carry that momentum here to the Brickyard, but on Friday, he crashed his primary car and had to go to a backup. Started 35th, slowly working his way through the field. The car's been tight most of the day. Small adjustments here and there to try to free it up. Now Greg says the car is good. They took a spring rubber out in the last stop to try to help that. Small adjustments. He's riding it out right now, just trying to save fuel for that final stop.
In his mirror, a couple of fast dodges.
Yes, that Casey Kane, I tell you, if he gets that high line working again.
Ooh, a little wiggle there for Junior coming off turn 4.
Dave Blaney making an unscheduled stop on pit road.
It's 48 laps to go, so he won't make it from here to the finish on fuel, so that's really going to hurt Blaney. He's back to 31st place. It has lost a lap to the race leaders. Dale Jr. running 8, trying to hang on to that spot. Dave?
Alan, as he fights him off, I wanted to review with the crew this week why it was exactly the Junior had to get out of the car last week, and they told me it didn't really have to do with his burns as much as it had to do with getting ready for a relief driver. Now, as Biffle dives to the inside, and we'll get that spot, and it looks like along with the dodge of Casey Kane, or is that's Kane?
Yep.
They said that it had to do with the belts, as they had to get ready to get in the car passively. They adjusted the belts to where part of it was digging into Junior's leg. That caused the left leg to numb. That caused him to have to get out of the car earlier than he wanted to last week. With no driver standing by, Junior was able to adjust the cockpit to his liking from the start today and expects to stay until the end of the race.
Right now, the 8 car, he's struggling just a little bit with the setup, with the chassis. He's not quite as fast through the corners as his other cars. Jeremy Mayfield goes by, puts Junior back to the 11th position.
Up front, Jeff Gordon matching Matt Kenseth's lap time, so his advantage stays at 2.2 seconds. We check our Harley-Davidson lap leaders and see that Jeff Gordon has dominated on the day as far as time out in front. He and Elliott Sadler have been the 2 guys today.
Well, Elliott Sadler's picked up over $12,000 in lap money. Jeff Gordon, around $30,000.
That's not what they're really interested in, though, today, is it?
They're thinking about kissing those bricks.
That's right. Jeff Gordon would do it for a 4th time if he's able to hang on here today. You see the interval between himself and second place Matt Kenseth actually growing a little bit over these last few laps. He's not going to want to see this, though.
Leader of most races, most laps, has failed to win 6 of the 10 Brickyard 400s.
46 laps to go here in Indianapolis. When we come back through the field, Jeff Gordon leading the 11th running of the Brickyard 400. His crew chief, Robbie Loomis, plotting the strategy.
At turn 3 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where the roar of NASCAR rattles through Speedway, Indiana on a sunsplash Sunday afternoon. And Indiana's own Jeff Gordon continues to run out front, although his car now just a little bit tight, but I don't think that's bothering him. He's having a good run at a track where he really wants to perform well. Let's take you through the field. Everybody wants to finish first. Why? Just ask Jeff Gordon what it means to win this race.
You know, you just look at the list of names that have won at this racetrack, and when you put your name along with those names, it's a very, very big deal, very, very special accomplishment.
It's a home game for Gordon. He's out front. Let's take you through the field, as we said, and find out who's trying to chase him down here in the Brickyard 400. Marty.
Phil, Matt Kenseth is the guy trying to chase down Jeff Gordon. It's been the 3rd race of the season since the 17 team went to victory lane. He came on the radio about 10 laps ago, said, that's all I have for this run. I need to be out front to get past Gordon. Dave?
Robbie Gordon had a weird thing happen. The shifter knob fell off. He was still able to shift through the gears on the restarts and on and off pit road, though, and he's not shifting during the race, so it's not a big deal. The 88 of Dale Jarrett just came on the radio a minute ago and told his crew, I'm getting a little bit tight. That was on lap 119 that report came. Marty, back to you.
Elliott Sadler's fallen back to 5th. He was loose on the 2 tires. Todd Parrott said, turn off your front brake fans. That worked. It made the car just a little bit tighter. Elliott a little bit happier now, about 10 laps away from the stop. Mark Martin has rebounded from what started off to be an awful day. Brushed the wall on lap 2, had a flat left front on lap 38. The chassis is great. Now they have a little better track position. Matt?
Tony Stewart runs in 7th. Back on lap 105, telling his team the car is much better on the get-go. 6 laps later, he said the car has gone to the tight side. These guys are starting to slowly pull away from me. Meanwhile, Greg Biffle, he had worked a long time on Dale Earnhardt Jr., told his team he used up the right front. Now the car extremely tight in traffic. Bill?
Rookie Casey Kane had 3 disappointing finishes of 31st, 25th, and 36th. Then got an 8th in Chicago. 3rd last week at Pocono. 5 second-place finishes trying to win the Brickyard 400. His car's good, just a little bit tight. You can say the same thing about Jeremy Mayfield. He's a 3-time winner, though, in the Nextel Cup Series. Looking for his 4th. His car also just a tick tight. So the Dodges are tight. Upstairs.
Those are the top 10 of 29 cars that are on the lead lap late in the Brickyard 400. As we just crossed the 120-lap mark, 300 miles into the race. We continue to go through the field with 11th place Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dave.
Alan, the only mention that Junior's made of his injuries all day, he radioed to his crew and said, "Oh, by the way, I'm feeling all right." As for his car, right now, tight in the middle of the corners. Matt?
Ryan Newman's climbed to 12th in the 12 car, and that's where he's holding station. The car still extremely loose on entry as he just got passed by the 41 of Casey Mears. Buddy Baker is his second spotter in turn 3, helping him change his line to improve the car, Bill.
Casey Mears had the 12 in his windshield, now has it in his mirror. Still tight from the center off. They made a track bar and an air pressure adjustment last stop. Burns?
Bill Elliott's Dodge was a little bit tight on that last run, so on the last stop they made a wedge adjustment on that chassis to try to fix it. The report from Bill, a little bit better. The 2-car at Rusty Walls, well, how about that? Hit it 3 times to fix damage and fix the toe on his car to make it run straight. He was saying that it still turned a little bit to the right, but do you know that he ran his fastest laps of the race after they made the fixes on that car? Marty?
Kurt Busch trying to track down Rusty Wallace. It's been an eventful day for Kurt Busch. Lost the brakes in his left rear, finally got them back. They got the damage fixed, went to the back of the field, went to the front of the field. Now he's in 16th position, little tight end, loose end, tied off. Jamie McMurray, same condition. They bounced everywhere today. They've had a tight race car, a loose race car, complained about the motor. Now they've finally gotten to where it's just a little loose end and a little tight off. David.
The 99 of Jeff Burton needs to turn better in the corner, but he says, and I quote, "The rear end is way out of the track." How do you fix that? Sounds like it's loose end, tied off, hard to drive. Marty, back to you.
Ryan Vickers out on the racetrack, Dave, and they've had a tight car most of the afternoon long, and I believe that's actually Matt's car.
Robbie Gordon, troubles on the racetrack left front. Caution is out. 3rd place car.
Once again, that camber issue raised its ugly head.
Got a pit now, right? I got a pit now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Come straight to the pit. Do not pass go. Don't collect any money. Go straight to the pits. We've seen what happens when you don't do that.
If you're new to NASCAR, camber is tilting the tire so that the entire contact patch is on the track in the banking of the corners.
Why do these guys do that?
I don't know.
If the tire comes apart now, they basically have taken themselves out of contention, and there it goes.
There it went. The tire just blew.
I do not understand why these guys do not come in and get the tire changed. Now he's done.
We saw this early in the race with Sterling Marlin. This tire's throwing all these sparks. It actually caused a fire on Sterling Marlin's car. He had to stop over there and get out of the car.
What they're doing is, the wheel's grinding now. The tire comes apart. It will tear apart the lines. It'll do damage to the body. It's already doing damage to the body.
Suspension pieces coming off.
This is what we're talking about by Sterling Marlin. He stayed on the racetrack and blew that left front. We saw the sparks just like that. He catches the rubber on fire. And literally on fire. The smoke inside the car became so bad that Sterling had to stop and get out of the car.
So now we wait to see as Robbie tries to make it back around to pit road. NASCAR, by the way, admonishing his team over the radio to get him down on the apron of the racetrack and stop shedding debris on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, all those sparks, that's hot metal.
And so far, we aren't seeing flames in there. That's a good thing.
Well, Robbie comes back around.
There's the fire.
Yeah, there it is.
You mean those flames?
Those, I haven't seen that before, but okay, there it is.
Here we go. Final pit stops here. We're inside the window where everybody can make it to the finish on fuel. Which pit crew gets their guy off pit road first? If Matt Kenseth's team can get out ahead of Jeff Gordon's, could save him from having to try and pass him on the racetrack.
Okay.
Here we go. Matt.
Tony Stewart hits pit road in the 6th position, says the car's still temperamental. They can't get it in the middle. That's where they're trying to get it. It's either tight or loose. Jeff Gooch Patterson has the wedge wrench in his hands, making a chassis adjustment and air pressure adjustment on the 20 car, Dave.
Two-time Brickyard winner Dale Jarrett needs a chassis adjustment so the car will turn better. A 4-tire stop as well. Car looks a little hot, but he's okay. Marty.
Dave, second place man Matt Kenseth is a little bit loose. He said, let's not over adjust here. Let's make a small adjustment. Half pound on the right rear. Bill.
Gordon is tight. They freed him up. 4 tires and fuel. He's on his way.
And it looks like he's going to hold serve on the stop. It's Gordon and Mark Martin going to beat. Looks like he does beat the 38 car of Elliott Sadler.
Meantime, you saw the big cloud of smoke on pit road when Dale Jarrett came driving through it. Robbie Gordon brought that car down the pit lane with the right front corner, the left front tire rather, on fire. And they had to extinguish the flames, and that put a big cloud of smoke over the pit lane for all the other drivers to have to go through.
And that's live. I mean, they still haven't. That's on the racetrack.
Look at that mess.
See, when it caught on fire, they couldn't change the tire. They came in the pit, so they had
it's still on fire,
and they're still. You know, that's what it cost them.
Okay, now put more. There you go. Put more extinguisher on there.
They got plenty.
Man.
Oh, what a mess.
Too bad. Robbie was running very good. Dave.
Guys, I tried to get down there, but you can't breathe, so I turned around.
Well, and
that's hard on the crew. That's what I'm saying.
This is happening right in front of our broadcast booth, and the crew in the pit next to his, where the wind is blowing, is Brian Vickers. They all just abandoned their pit stall because all the fire extinguishing material and smoke makes it hard to breathe.
He just wants to leave so he can get some air.
Check this out.
Now that left front is just in flames. These guys can't service the car until the fire's out.
And fortunately, they didn't put any. Well, they're putting gas in the car now. I thought they would put gas in the car, but they are.
And you see how the cloud of smoke is billowing. And remember,
fireman will in there first. Come on. Okay, jack it up.
Look at the guy waving the fireman out of the way.
I got to change that tire.
Change the tire.
Okay, maybe you better going to put the fire out.
Can't get the jack.
Watch this.
And see the cloud of smoke now. All those guys are pitting toward turn 4, have to drive through that after they finish their pit stops.
And our camera can't even see the crew down working on the car in that.
So, chance to win Indy, literally up in smoke. Yes. Robbie Gordon will rejoin the race, but he will be
back on pit road.
Way back in 28th place. Still on the lead lap, but we'll see what kind of damage he's got to repair before he can resume competitive speed. Ken Schrader has not pitted yet, so he'll be the leader behind the Chevy Monte Carlo pace car, Chevrolet, the official pace car of NASCAR. Then it's Jeff Gordon first off the pit road behind Schrader, followed by Matt Kenseth, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, and Elliott Sadler. So after Schrader stops before the restart, Gordon will take over the lead. We're set to go. The pit crew did their job on the stop. 400 presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil retailers. About to go back under the green flag with 32 laps to go. Jeff Gordon leading, Matt Kenseth chasing.
Ready. Ready.
Well, if Kenseth has anything for him, he needs to show it now.
Dale Jr. tries Jeremy Mayfield. 7th place there. Lap traffic in the way. Dave Blaney is the lap down car. Remember, he'd been on pit road under the green flag.
Just don't understand why he's up there, because he's the only car lap down. He's going to get the lucky dog, but it's in the middle of all these guys racing.
3 wide.
Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, by Dale Jr. Harvick, the defending champion of this race, Matt.
Trying to get that car back to victory lane. Brand new race car, just like a couple stops ago. 2 tires for track position. Caution came at a good time. He thought he had a tire going down. Slight air pressure adjustment as well. They're going for it.
Whoa. Elliott Sadler looked like he had his hands full there for a second.
He does with Casey Kane.
Yes, he does. He's got big trouble because this 9 car, tell you what, 9 car Casey Kane has been very impressive today.
They have had a day's work, haven't they?
They have.
How about Casey Kane's day, Bill?
Well, you just can't say enough about him, Alan, and the day he's had and the job the crew has done, led by Tommy Baldwin. That car is still just a little bit tight. They put on 4 sticker tires. They told him we can go the rest of the way on fuel, so go, kid, go.
And he's trying his best he can.
Kid is right. 24 years old. Enumclaw, Washington, his hometown. Former USAC open wheeler. Spent a lot of time racing around this Indianapolis area.
And Jeff Gordon just ran his fastest lap of the day, last lap. He's going for it as well.
I think he wants it.
Yeah, he wants it bad, big time.
Talking about guys who've had up and down days. I saw Kurt Busch running back like 32nd, not all that long ago. Here he's challenging Kevin Harvick, trying to work his way into the top 11. What about it, Marty?
Yeah, he too has come from the back to the front twice today, Alan. And at one point, they made 4 pit stops under caution to try and fix the left rear brake problems. Kurtz told them along the last green flag run, brakes are just fine. Car is excellent. Now they need a little track position. They need a caution. Maybe everybody else to pit. Maybe they can do some strategy and take 2 tires. But he is a fast race car out there right now.
Yikes.
Look at this.
3 wide.
Now you pick up 2 spots right there.
Jamie McMurray in the 42. On board Bill Elliott.
And Ryan Newman, the 12th car, losing positions wholesale. 3 or 4 in the last lap or so.
Ooh, Brian Vickers in the 25 with a little wobble off the corner. Rusty Wallace is through. Go ahead, Matt.
A lot of adjustments on that last stop, but that caution came at a great time. He had a bad vibration. They were getting ready to pit when the caution came out. A significant adjustment. Still fighting a loose race car. It all goes back when they had that contact on pit road. The car's been junk ever since, guys.
He's talking about Ryan Newman there.
Yeah, we see the damage to the nose of the car where he ran in the back of someone coming down pit road.
Elliott takes a look underneath. Now, if he can stay beside him down that straightaway, going into turn 3, yep, he's going to do it. Dave, Bill Elliott's moving to the front.
Better and better, Wally. A little wedge adjustment on the last stop because he was still a little bit tight, but that's what they did the time before, and that's what's been helping.
He just didn't hang it.
The problem is when you get side by side with that 12 car, it's got so much steam down the straightaways, it's very hard to make a pass on the straightaway.
Rusty Wallace drafting behind Ryan Newman there until he sees that Elliott is going to get through. Newman, Rusty's teammate.
It looks like Bill has been through 3 or 4 times, but every time I look up, it's a 12 car in front.
Well, I think if Rusty gets on the back of Bill Elliott here and pushes him down the straightaway, they'll both go by the 12 car. That 12 car is strong straightaway.
And he's running that outside line through the corners, kind of like Casey Kane.
Yeah, I was just thinking while we were watching that, a couple things we've seen today that this racetrack isn't necessarily known for. One is people running an outside lane, another's passing. We've seen a lot of passing here today for positions. Dave?
Al, I got to ask you, did you think I was being optimistic earlier when Rusty had all that damage and I said he could still be competitive?
Yes.
I thought I was too, but you know what? I talked about him running the fastest laps on the last run. He was just a little bit tight, and so they made a wedge and an air pressure adjustment to help him even more, and he's still going to win his first Brickyard 400 and is still competitive.
Rusty in 17th, Bill Elliott 16th, Ryan Newman 15th.
Well, Elliott gets there.
Yeah.
But Newman really drives the car in pretty deep, and he uses that outside lane. It looks like the car's sliding loose, but Bill Elliott can't do anything with him. I think if Elliott got by him, he'd probably leave the 12 car of Ryan Newman. But
I think Ryan Newman understands that as well. Here comes Jeff Burton on the inside of Rusty Wallace.
Jeff going to join the chase. 99 car started today in 19th spot. He'll take 17th from Rusty. Jeff Gordon leading with 25 laps to go. We're watching the race farther back for 15th place.
Got up there, got him a little bit loose. I think Elliott's probably had enough.
A little frustrated by now. Let's try this one more time.
Now he's got some help.
I'll tell you what, Newman's going to drive it in turn 3. He's going to drive it in hard. And Bill not able to use the entire racetrack off 2 and 4. And Newman has that run on the outside. And since Bill can't use the entire racetrack, just can't drive by.
That's pretty determined on the part of Ryan Newman to try and hang on to that spot.
Yeah, and that's great racing.
Yeah.
Now. Nope. Got a little bit of a nose on him.
Well, same thing.
I don't think so. I thought he had enough of a nose up there. Oh, that's good.
He might this time.
Good stuff.
No?
You go barreling off into that corner at 200 miles an hour, side by side with somebody like that with as little banking as there is here in Indianapolis. That takes a lot of guts. A lot of confidence in your race car.
Yes, sir.
I think Bill's clear of him. No?
No.
I think I spoke too soon.
I think he'll hog up some racetrack right here.
Oh, finally.
All that to get 15th spot.
Yep.
BP, we haven't done it today.
We haven't, have we?
No, sir.
It's time to cue the duck.
Our Aflac NASCAR Nextel Cup trivia question. Who is the only owner driver, to win the Brickyard 400?
I know that one.
I know everybody knows the answer to that. That's easy.
It is. Who is it?
Ricky Rudd.
Okay. I tried to trick you. Somebody wasn't
leading. Yeah, well, we know that.
1997. Ricky Rudd won the race. Got 6 of his 23 career victories under the banner of the team he owned, Rudd Performance Motorsports. Our Aflac NASCAR Nextel Cup trivia question.
Rusty and Jeff Burton had themselves a nice little race. Rusty went by Burton. Now Burton goes back by Rusty.
So that's some of the closest racing that's going on among the top 20. Up front, Jeff Gordon has left Matt Kenseth by a 2 3/4. Bill?
Very impressive run here late in the Brickyard 400 for Jeff Gordon. Under the last caution, before he came to pit road, he goes, "This car is darn good. You guys give me one more stop. You've given me good stops all day. Give me one more." 13.2 is what they did. Gordon pulled away, got on the track and said, "Thanks, guys. Good job." These are the guys he's talking about.
Robbie Loomis, crew chief, Forest City, Florida.
Craig Carrione, front tire carrier, Sanborn, New York.
Brian Pepe, front tire changer, Orlando, Florida.
Jeff Cook, Jackman, Mallard Creek, North Carolina.
Steve Letarte, rear tire carrier from Cornish, Maine.
Mike Atwell, rear tire changer, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Jeff Craven, gas man, High Point, North Carolina.
Caleb Hurd, jet fan, Pulaski, Virginia.
Matt Clark, pit crew coach, North Haven, Connecticut.
Jeff Gordon came to Indiana as a kid, came here, took the tour in the Speedway bus, looked at the names on the wall, visited the museum, moved to stock cars, thought he had lost the dream of racing here. Now he's won here 3 times, and today could tie Mears, Foyt, and Unser Sr. as a 4-time winner at Indianapolis, and those guys have played a big role.
You saw the times for Jeff Gordon's pit stops on today. A couple of 2-tire stops in there, but overall 15 seconds was their worst pit stop of the day. Pretty solid. Matt Kenseth a little bit faster than Jeff Gordon. The last lap by, he's close to a 1.5 seconds down from a 2 3/4. When they come back around, we'll check our AOL top speeds and compare their lap times this time by. Jeff Gordon, 4 times a winner in this 2004 season, 3 times a winner here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Moved to 2nd in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Championship standings after the Pocono race last Sunday, getting by Dale Earnhardt Jr. in those standings. He's led the most laps in 3 of the last 6 races. Now today at Indianapolis, make it 4 of the last 7. That 24 car spent the most time out in front.
Okay, we're going by Jeff Gordon. Matt Kenseth that time a little bit quicker.
Check back through the top 10.
Mark Martin, 3rd best.
Fastest lap last time among the leaders, Matt Kenseth with the top speed. Shaved another 1/10 of a second off Jeff Gordon's lead.
They seem to be going back and forth on it, though. A couple laps, Kenseth will be quick, and then Jeff Gordon's fast a few laps.
Dale Jarrett in 3rd, Elliott Sadler 4th. Now a race for 5th place shaping up. Casey Kane in the 9, Mark Martin in the 6.
Mark's got a run on Casey Kane. A terrific run. Oh, man. A couple laps ago, Marty, the 6th car had the fastest lap of all the cars on the racetrack.
Matt Kenseth, 2nd place driver.
Right front here, Robbie. Huge piece of debris.
2nd place car on pit road with 18 laps to go. Matt was talking about a piece of debris on the track that he might have hit. Here he comes to the attention of his crew. What a heartbreaker.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Marty.
Boy, Alan, he had just radioed to his guys that he thought he could get up to Jeff Gordon and maybe pass him. 2 right side tires from Matt Kenseth. We'll look at him and see if there was a flat.
Yeah, it'd be even more heartbreaking. There's nothing wrong with the tire.
Yeah, that's right. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
Caution is out. Caution for debris.
Oh, well.
And Matt will stay on the lead lap.
He'll be on the lead lap. He has 2 fresh tires, but unfortunately, he will be 29th.
Yep. He's got a lot of cars to pass.
There's no way in the world he can pass that many cars in the remaining time.
He'll get some of them back because there'll be a few people that pit. There's the piece of debris.
There.
That is a heartbreaker.
It's like a piece of lead out of a car.
Sterling Marlin just limped down the pit road and headed toward his pit stall with his battered and tattered car. I don't know if it came off of his machine or not, but who's that, Robbie Gordon?
Is pit road open, I wonder?
No. Maybe he felt the tire down, didn't want to go through what he did before.
He's kind of wiggling it like he does.
Yeah.
Yep, right front's flat.
That was a good move on his part.
So Robbie Gordon comes in. He was back in 29th place, so nothing lost here, but remember he was up in, what was he, in 4th when he had the problem earlier.
Yeah, he had a terrific run going. The best run I've seen in this year. And next week we go to Watkins Glen. This guy will be the favorite to win.
Okay, so 29 cars on the lead lap. Obviously, Jeff Gordon's not going to pit, right?
No.
No.
Who does?
Nobody.
11th place, Kurt Busch?
No.
No.
Bobby Labonte, Ricky Craven, those guys back 25th or so. Some of those guys might pit.
Pit road is open.
Okay, pit road is open.
You may see somebody in 15th.
Who's that? Mayfield.
Mayfield.
No, he's not coming down pit road.
Harvick. Who's going to do it? There's the commitment line. Who swung inside of it? Kurt Busch, first one. And he is in 11th place. Go Going to be a lot of guys with fresher tires than the leaders coming off this pit lane for the restart. Bill?
Robbie Loomis and Jeff Gordon on the radio. Stay out. It's the only chance we have to win. And that's because if he pits, nobody else will.
Yeah, that's right. When you're the leader, like last night out at IRP, when you're the leader, you're in a tough spot because the guys behind you are going to do the opposite of what you do. You pit, they're going to stay out. You stay out, they're going to pit.
But as a leader, I mean, he's got a great race car. So they made the right move.
But Matt Kenseth, that really helped him because no doubt he stayed on the racetrack. He's going to move up to about 10th spot.
Elliott Sadler running third. Marty?
Yeah, now in third, Alan. He came on the radio. He said, I've been hanging out. The car's neutral. Very happy with it. For this purpose right here, I knew we were going to get a caution. This is our break.
Okay.
Brickyard 400 inside its final 20 laps. Let's tell you how we got to this point. Right from the start, the fenders were bent, the sparks were flying. Casey Mears and Ward Burton, the front row starters, clanging and banging into turn one.
Tell you what, these guys wanted to win and wanted to win badly. Tony Stewart had a loose race car. Normally they just ride around, but it's a Brickyard. He can't run around. He's trying so hard he spins out.
Lap number 60.
Yep, get some tire problems today. Casey Kane, one of them, goes up and bangs on the wall a little bit. Sterling Marlin, another guy.
Left front tire. Did not come down the pit road, try to make another lap, and this is what happens when you try to make another lap.
On the restart, big wreck on this tight front straightaway here in Indianapolis. Ended up claiming 8 cars, triggered around Rusty Wallace. You see Terry Labonte and Scott Riggs getting a major piece of it in the 5 and 10 cars. By the time it was all done, a total of 8 involved. Championship leader Jimmy Johnson with a short day lost the engine in his car, put him into the garage. He's going to finish 36th on the day. Now to lap 96, Casey Kane, and this time Brendan Gaughan.
Main contact, shredded the left rear tire of Brendan Gaughan, and he was gone.
And scooped by a couple of guys to keep from piling into him.
And evidently, Robbie didn't see the video on Sterling Marlin because he tried to make an extra lap. The left front tire catches fire on his car.
And Robbie running in the top 5 at the time. Now he's back toward the end of the lead lap. Jeff Gordon's team getting him off pit road first on the last set of stops all the leaders made. Gordon has been the dominant driver today. Now the most recent yellow brought out for debris. It came a lap too late for Matt Kenseth, who hit that debris and figured he'd cut down a right front tire, who pitted from second place, and it has dropped Matt now well back into the field. Our Napa Field summary on the day. The cautions have been the story of this 11th Brickyard 400.
10 caution flags.
That is a record. 37 caution flag laps in this race. It is in line to be the slowest average speed ever for a Brickyard 400, pending the outcome of these final laps. Dominance today, Jeff Gordon led 108 of the 145 laps that have been run so far. Bill?
Robbie Loomis, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. You've had a great day, but is your car okay? Did he hit something out there?
Definitely hit some debris down there. It got Kenseth that looked like 2, but we came to win this Brickyard 400. Our only shot at us to stay out there. Good Lord willing, we're going to bring it home. We're going to see what happens here.
You had the binoculars out. Could you see anything?
I saw more than I want to. The lower right front looks like it took a pretty hard shot. This place is so aero dependent, but hopefully that baby will be sealed up and will be in good shape.
All right, let's see if you guys can get a look at that upstairs.
I'll guarantee you that's going to make a difference.
Yes, we saw where he ran over that piece of debris and has knocked a chunk out of the front air dam.
That's going to make the car tight, because that basically, you know, with that air dam, when it's perfect, it sucks the front of the car down. Now there's a big hole in it, so I believe he's going to have his hands full. It's not going to be like it was.
I believe opportunity's knocking for Dale Jarrett.
I think so.
And Elliott Sadler, the guys behind Jeff Gordon.
And that was where the 24 was so strong, was in those corners, because he could drive that car down to the bottom, and the front of the car was just stuck.
Okay, we're going to find out in just a couple of minutes.
14 laps to go as they come to the restart.
Green.
See, everybody but Kyle Petty that's on the track is on the lead lap, so no traffic to deal with for these front runners as they race for positions in the closing laps in Indianapolis. Good restart for Jeff Gordon.
So far, so good.
Elliott Sadler pressuring his teammate for second.
And that's what Gordon wants to see in this mirror. He wants to see those guys behind him race.
Oh, look at this back there. 4, 5 wide.
This could get ugly. Kevin Harvick trying to make a charge. He was the first one off of those stops. That's the fresh tire brigade coming there.
Yahoo!
If they make it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're beating and banging.
Matt Kenseth locked up in this shuffle. That's Kenseth popping out to the inside on the 17. Marty?
When the 17 came down pit road, they changed those right side tires, Alan. Both right side tires were up. Long debate on the radio as to whether or not to come back down pit road. Matt said, I hit something very hard. Robbie Reiser said, the chassis is fine. Let's chance it. I think we'll be okay. But they've got a long way to go to get back to the front.
So the key point there, both those right sides were up, Marty. So Matt Kenseth thinking he had a flat tire, but it didn't turn out to be. Matt fighting now with Ryan Newman for 16th and 17th place. Kurt Busch there in 18th, trying to find a way through. He pitted under the last caution.
And when you're back there trying to get through this traffic, I mean, he'll be out of time, Matt Kenseth. Oh, another tire goes down.
Oh, caution is out as Wimmer hits the wall.
There appeared to be another left front tire.
Yellow flag, 12 laps to go. And an amazing 11th caution flag in this race. And pace car's been working overtime today. I think
pace car's going to get a lot of lap money.
I think I jinxed it earlier. I said we hope the pace car doesn't lead many laps.
No.
Brett Bodine behind the wheel of the Chevy Monte Carlo, getting ready to pick up the field. As they slow for the yellow flag, Scott Wimmer with a flat tire down the front stretch and into the wall in turn one. You see the safety workers already there at the Wisconsin Natives car. Tough way to end your first Brickyard 400.
Looks like there's going to be about, I don't know, 7, 8 laps to go, and they throw the green flag on these cars. Bill, 24 car, I don't think wanted to see this caution flag.
Didn't want to see that. Didn't want to see the debris. We heard Matt Kenseth talk about it under caution. This was Jeff Gordon's conversation with crew chief Robbie Loomis about the debris on the racetrack.
Piece of debris I just hit killed the thing. Killed it. I tell you what, that is just screwed up. That NASCAR is not keeping their eyes open. That is a big piece of debris, guys. I don't know what's going to happen here.
And that's almost a catch-22 situation because a lot of times NASCAR is called for putting that caution flag out for debris too soon. In this case, obviously, Jeff felt that they put it out too late. We'll see if it costs them a win here at Indianapolis.
And, you know, it's hard to say how long that piece of debris was there before Jeff Gordon got to it and hit it. If it had been there for 30 seconds, yeah, absolutely no excuse. If it just fell off a car in front of Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, that's right. There's no way of knowing exactly when the piece of debris was put on the racetrack.
So, I bet we find out.
Yeah. Now what do we hear from down on pit road, Dave?
Well, with Mike Ford, who has won here as a crew chief before, is Dale Jarrett going to bring you a victory again?
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for. You know, you try and put yourself in position to be in contention for the win at the end. You know, we've had a top 5 car all day. You know, 24 car is real strong, but I know he was coming back to us after a few laps the run before, and you know, hopefully that's the case. We get some racing in and, you know, have a shot at winning this thing.
Sounds like DJ's got him in his sights. Marty?
Well, Todd Parrott took Dale Jarrett to 2 Brickyard 400 wins. First of all, did you hit the debris? And secondly, can you get past your teammate?
Well, first of all, no, we didn't hit the debris. I guess the 24 ran over it, threw it back into the 17, and you know, just I guess it shot it up the racetrack. And secondly, can we win the race or get by our teammate? Yes, I think so. You know, just had to see. He said the car's really great, guys. We got a great race car. It's just a little aero tight behind the 88 car right now. So we'll see. Maybe something happened to 24. You know, that motor blew up on the 48 a long time ago. Maybe he's got a little. Maybe the fuse. Maybe the fuse is a little bit short on the thing. And both these Robert Yates cars can come home 1 and 2 like they did in '96.
Now we learned in Countdown to Green that you invented kissing the bricks. Do you have a date tonight?
Yes, I'd like to think so.
All right, he's got a date with some bricks. Bill?
I'm down here with Tommy Baldwin, crew chief for Casey Kane, looking at some debris on the track. You guys are currently 5th. I think you were 45th at some time in this race, and there are only 43 cars.
Man, I tell you, it's been an eventful day for this UAW Dodge deal. It's number 9, and you know, hopefully we can just stay here and stay in top 5, get a good points day. You know, he hit the wall early on with that flat tire and knocked.
How'd you come back from that?
I don't know. We've been doing it all year long. We just, you know, we got a great little race car driver, you know, in our seat there, and you know, everything's well. We'll just take this top 5. The car's a little bend up from hitting the wall there, knocked the toe out. So we'll run out of here with a 5th place, 6th place finish.
I don't think he's given up yet, though, do you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he never does. We'll see what happens.
All right, Tommy. Thanks a lot. Marty.
Well, Pat Tryson, I think you deserve a gold medal for all the work you guys have done today. How have you gotten this car back up to the front?
Really, the Viper Ford Taurus has been really good all day long. Mark, we just had a couple problems, and Mark's drove his butt off today, and he's done an awesome job. Pit crew did a great job. You know, we did 2 tires once to get back up there, and had to do it again later on to get back up there. But, you know, the car's been great all day, and Mark's done an awesome job, and hopefully we can go get that 24.
You sit in 4th. Can you win from there?
I don't know if we can win from here, but we're sure going to try.
10 laps to go from 4th. That's a tall order, Alan.
Marty said crews deserving a gold medal. A lot of crews deserve a gold medal today for coming back from problems. Casey Kane's, Mark Martin's. The gold medals are going to start to be passed out a little bit later on this week. 5 more days till the Olympics come home to Greece. The youth of the world from over 200 countries gather for the spectacular opening ceremony leading up to the lighting of the Olympic flame Friday night. It's the opening ceremony at the Games of the 28th Olympiad, 8 Eastern and Pacific Friday. You'll see it here on NBC. Well, go back and take a look at what put us under the amazing 11th yellow flag of the Brickyard 400.
22 car, left front tire goes flat. He's unable to turn it. And into that turn 1 wall the car goes. But they do have the safer barriers in place here, which helps a great deal.
Coming at you. I can't think of a scarier place than going into turn 1 at Indy to have a tire go down like that. Just the illusion of the corner, also the 90-degree turn of that corner.
They're all scary, Alan. Whenever you lose a tire going to any corner, it's scary.
Got a few trickling onto pit road here, but not many. Most everybody going to stay out on the track and try and make do in this final lap's mad scramble with what they've got on board, including Jeff Gordon.
Hey, I know Bill Weber's down there probably monitoring the 24. Bill, has Jeff said anything on that last restart? If he felt his car was different?
No, hasn't said a thing. Not a thing.
Okay.
Okay, when they come back, get the green flag, there will be 8 laps to go to decide who is going to have the date with the bricks tonight.
These guys aren't thinking about points right now, I'll tell you that.
That's right.
They are not thinking about points.
Wally, if he's not saying anything, I'm taking the assumption that the car is good.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I would think so, yeah.
I'll take a little different twist on that, Bill. There's nothing he can do about it now. He's either going to make do and win Indy with what he's got, or he's not.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree, because they weren't coming in there even after he said he hit that thing.
Yeah. So Jeff Gordon picking up damage after running over some debris on the racetrack. You could see the hole in the lower right front part of his car. That last little run didn't seem to affect the aerodynamics. Question is, will it in this short sprint to the finish? Dale Jarrett chasing him. Elliott Sadler, a strong car all race, hanging with Gordon most of the day. Fell back a little bit. Now he's trying to see if he can come from 3rd to win this race.
There you see the spot right underneath the headlight on that right front corner, and as Wally says, it just doesn't seal the front of the racetrack the way it needs to, but I think he's getting a break. It probably would show up in 10 or 15 laps, maybe not in 8.
Or if he was behind another car.
Yeah.
He's got all the air on his car right now because he's the leader, and that is helping a lot.
Does Dale Jarrett think his best chance to win this race is to get Jeff Gordon right on this restart?
I would think so. You have to. The restarts are so important. So, yeah, I think everybody's going to be standing in their seat on the restart. Dave.
You agree with the 88 team. That's exactly what they've been talking about.
Well, here it is. Pace cars off. The 250,000 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway are all standing, waiting to see how the final miles of this race play out. Green flag with 8 laps to go.
I see a little mirror driving here too, I bet. A little blocking.
Gordon pulls Jarrett by a car length. Harvick trying to get a couple quick spots in the 29.
Jeff Gordon holds serve on the start. 10 car lengths off turn 2.
Jarrett tried to defend his teammate Elliott Sadler, looking for second.
And there again, that's what Gordon wants. He wants those guys behind him race him.
I think if Elliott Sadler gets alongside the 88, he will let him go. I don't think that he'll race him that hard if he can pull up alongside and let the 38 see if he can catch the 24. But he's got to catch it, 88 first.
Jeff Gordon pulling away. The question is, when he punched that hole in that front air dam, did he damage a tire any? I'm sure something he's worried about. Victory at Indianapolis is so close.
He's worried about everything right now. Jeff Gordon.
I think so. He's been so dominant today. I'll tell you, his track record, what he's established, when you come down to a race and Jeff Gordon's got a sniff of a checkered flag and a trophy, there's just about nobody better at getting the most possible out of a car to try and get that win. For now, Elliott Sadler not able to do anything with Dale Jarrett for second. Jarrett not able to do anything with Jeff Gordon for the win.
Tell you what, Jarrett is using all the racetrack. He came off turn 4 and almost. Did something happen to Jarrett?
Just scraped the wall.
You just said he was using all the racetrack. He used a little more.
He is trying so hard to find every ounce of speed that he can in this 88 car.
A 3-time Brickyard 400 winner leading a 2-time Brickyard 400 winner.
And right now, he's a little bit faster than Jeff Gordon.
Trouble turn 2. Caution flags out. Ryan Newman punched the wall. Who's in the black car? Is that
guy 8th in points?
Okay, the field is frozen.
There's Newman. Wow, what a hard crash he's had.
The left side has hit the wall awfully hard on the 12 car, but here is Ryan Newman jumping out of the car.
And the other one is Brian Vickers. He's mad.
Oh, he's hot. At least he's okay. He's hot, but he's okay.
There's Brian Vickers.
He's made some pretty hard contact with the outside retaining wall. Now then, we just might see our first green-white checker.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think we will.
Caution is out with 5 laps to go. If you're new to NASCAR or you don't follow it weekly, NASCAR instituting a procedure to try and give the fans green flag finishes instead of, for example, under the old way, perhaps them following around behind the pace car for these final 5 laps because they couldn't clean the wreck up. NASCAR will go past the advertised distance and finish with 1 green-white checkered finish. They'll take a restart, then a white flag lap, then a checkered flag lap. It'll go beyond the 400-mile distance here today if necessary. They'll only try it once.
And additional laps will be counted and scored. That could be important in case someone was to run out of fuel and lose a lap. They, in fact, lose a lap. They would finish the last car on the lead lap. Right now would be about 25th, 30th position.
Okay, what happened over there in turn 2?
Good question, but I think we're going to find out.
Hard to tell by that angle.
Let's try this one.
Well, if there's 2 of them involved and they're both spinning,
yeah.
Chances are there was some contact between them.
Question, was the 12 passing the 25 on the outside, or was the 25 trying to go by the 12 on the inside?
Either way, neither driver's Brickyard 400 will finish as they hoped. Brian Vickers driving his car around to pit road to get repaired. You saw Ryan Newman out of his car over in turn 2. Jeff Gordon gets away on that restart, has his cushion. Caution comes out. Jarrett's got another shot.
It looked to me like that Jarrett was coming back on the 24 car. I don't think that this caution flag was a break for Dale Jarrett. I think he was coming back.
Jeff Gordon's been having great restarts all day long.
Gordon has led 118 of 156 laps on the day, the most laps anyone's ever led in a Brickyard 400. The previous record, 117, by the man who's chasing him, Dale Jarrett. Going to be a few minutes of cleanup here. We'll come back. More green flag racing to come in the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Brickyard 400, presented on NBC by Exxon and Mobil retailers. Under caution, yellow flag number 12 is out, perhaps delaying the opening to Victory Lane, where one driver is going to lay claim to that trophy just moments from now. The ground all 43 drivers starting today's race wanted to reach at the end of the day. One will do it. Jeff Gordon has been in command most of the day, but it's not over yet.
No, it's got to be the best restart of his life, and it's got to be the best restart for him in his life.
Curious if any crews are a little nervous about fuel with some pending overtime looming ahead, Bill.
Just the one still in the race, I think. They're the only one. I talked to Robbie Loomis. He wouldn't give me an exact number, but after talking to him, I'm thinking, 164 to 166. So 4 to 6 extra laps, if that's what we're going to start calling them. Dave.
That's about what they're thinking in the 88 pit as well, Bill. This is an extended, it's about the window for everybody under green flag conditions, even with these caution laps. But as we mentioned, the green-white checker throws a whole new thing into it. So they think they can do it for a few laps past the distance. Marty?
Same for Elliott Sadler, Bill, or Dave, who sits in third. I told him that 24 could probably go to about one lap 165. He said, well, then we can go to 165 and a half. They have a very fast race car. Elliott just came on the radio, said, I think we're faster than the 88. If we can just get past him, we can have a shot at Gordon.
But nobody's going to give up second spot.
No.
I mean, just because your teammate might be a little bit faster, let him go on.
But BP, you always say that about your teammate.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm faster than you. Just get by.
It's a teammate thing.
Let me go.
It's a teammate thing, huh?
Then I think I got a shot of winning.
They stopped with 35 to go, and they've had 12 laps of caution. I would think there's a little margin there to give everybody some small comfort. Jeff Gordon trying to win a fourth Brickyard 400. Remember the first one? 1994, August 6th. 23 years, 2 days old. Jeff Gordon winning the first non-Indy 500 auto race held here. Did it again just a couple of years later.
See, that ends on the caution flag.
1998. And then in 2001, Gordon becoming the first three-time winner of the Brickyard 400. By then, the tradition of kissing the bricks had been started by Dale Jarrett. And Gordon puckered up. Imagine, think about this now, the concept here. We're working hard all day long, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and I want to go kiss a brick that's all covered in oil and rubber and gasoline and...
The best brick you'll ever kiss.
I guarantee. Jeff, a three-time Brickyard 400 winner. The man chasing him, Dale Jarrett, has visited Victory Lane here twice. 1996 was the first of them. Jarrett winning that race under the caution flag. At the end of the day, turning into Victory Lane and then creating the spontaneous Kiss the Bricks celebration that day. And then a couple of years later, 1999. Dale doubling his fun here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, telling us earlier today his 2 wins here, 2 of the most significant things that have ever happened to propel his NASCAR career forward.
This is going to be 1 lap beyond the distance. This is going to be 161 laps. And that, I think, is important because if we had thrown the green flag last lap and the caution flag would have come out, then they could go to 164, 165. Now, race is going to be over. Once they get the green flag and come back around, it's going to be over.
Right. And just keep in mind, under these rules, once the leader has taken the white flag, if the caution comes out, race over, field frozen, done.
But right now, if they take the green, there's a caution flag on the first lap, they could extend it because we haven't gotten to that 160. So,
Carol Bickford, Jeff Gordon's mother, looking on.
And John, his stepdad, who's been so instrumental in Jeff's success in auto racing.
John standing right behind.
She looks very nervous. He looks pretty cool.
Well, he's been in this position with Jeff many times before.
How many thousands of races do you think he's been at with Jeff over the years? Well, here it is. Yep. Fans on their feet still.
And you know, all these guys got to make good restarts. This is your last shot.
Jeff Gordon spent much of his late childhood years in Pittsboro, Indiana, not far from this racetrack, running open-wheel cars, making his career before his career took a turn towards NASCAR. This racetrack, one of those he very much considers a home speedway. The crowd here very much Jeff Gordon partisans. He and Dale Jarrett going to try and settle the Brickyard 400 over a 2-lap sprint.
88 looked like he was laying back there at first.
He was, and I think Jeff kind of didn't start when he was supposed to, so he'd take that advantage away. There's Junior driving to the inside of the 9 of Casey Kane. He got a great restart to Junior, but now, did Jarrett get that start? Looks like Jeff Gordon, once again, got a terrific restart.
Casey Mears on pit road, flat left front tire at this restart. Whoa, blocking going on there.
Big time blocking.
Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart. That's for 6th place. Not often you see somebody all the way down to the white line on the backstretch here at Indy.
White flag this time. Just one more lap for Dale Jarrett to catch him.
24 just pulls out.
Dominant car all day. Now 1 lap away from a Brickyard 400 win. Jeff Gordon takes the white flag.
Now Elliott is going to do everything he can to make a move on the 88.
Who's off the pace? That's Ricky Rudd. Ricky Rudd with a right front problem. So far, green flag remains out. And they'll race the final half lap back to the checkered flag.
Look at all the blocking going on back there. Who's that blowing up?
Somebody's blowing up in the back. I believe it was.
It is Mark Martin.
Not again.
Elliott Sadler trying his teammate for second. That's all it's going to be, is for second spot. Caution flag is out. The race is over. Jeff Gordon wins the Brickyard 400 for a 4th time. A dominating performance today by Gordon.
Doing it, guys. You guys are awesome. Great job, driver. Great engines, get out. Everybody, awesome job. Thanks, Rick.
Robbie Loomis congratulating his team. Jeff Gordon led.
Buddy, we do it together. We're all the man on this team. I'm telling you what, Hendrick Motorsports is so awesome. Thank you, guys.
As Rick Hendrick talking to Jeff. Jeff Gordon led 124 of the 160 laps today. He turned 33 on Wednesday. Happy birthday. Marty?
Well, Robbie Loomis, this is the big one. You won the Brickyard 400. How does it feel?
It's incredible. First of all, I got to tell you what, I got to thank God. This one's for Pop. I know he's watching over us. We hit the debris down there. We needed a caution lap 124. The way everything worked out today, I can't say enough about Hendrick Motorsports and the job that everyone does. The engines were incredible. Ken Howes, Randy Dorton, Rex Stump. I could go on, but hello to Mary Hendrick at home, Rick's mom. I know she's at home, and hopefully everybody's feeling better, but just a great day for DuPont Chevrolet. We're really glad to be in Victory Lane.
I talked to Jeff this morning. He said he didn't think the car was that good. What did you guys do to this thing to make it that dominating?
We didn't sleep last night. I tell you, Brian Whites and myself, we looked through the notes, and Joe, just such a team effort. Steve Letard, I could go on and on about these guys. It's just an incredible day. Just got to keep digging. Yesterday, the first practice, I was really sick. The car was terrible. We about weren't talking. It was so bad. Worked on it, got better and better. Right now, I'm going to kiss those bricks.
There you go. He's got a date with some mortar. He's going to go kiss some bricks.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. also had problems on the last lap, along with Mark Martin. Both of them lost finishing positions. Jeff Gordon, all his way today. He stops on the yard of bricks, and he's climbing out of the car to salute the hometown fans. Listen to the crowd.
Wish they'd show some emotion, BP.
yeah, boy. Come on. Show us how happy you are. Is that
That's what this race means to people. That's right there. This is so good.
That looks like our Chevy winning moment. How about that? Chevrolet congratulating Jeff Gordon and the number 24 Monte Carlo team on their big win. No cars dominated Cup racing like the defending manufacturer's champion, Chevrolet and American Revolution. Look at that smile.
That's right. Acknowledge those fans, Jeff. How good is that?
Jeff Gordon has won the Brickyard 400 for a fourth time. He'll head toward victory lane shortly. We'll talk with him there in a moment. Jeff Gordon with his 5th victory in 2004. Hey, let's not wait for victory lane. You in the middle of that, Bill?
I made my way in here. A lot of handshakes, high fives, congratulations. Jeff Gordon has climbed out of the car, still parked on the yard of bricks. It took 66 years to get the first 4-time winner of the Indy 500. You won this one 4 times in 11 years. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. What an amazing week it's been, and just an awesome year for Hendrick Motorsports, this entire team. That yard of bricks right there is so special, and it just feels so incredible. And this guy right here. And
car owner Rick Hendrick is here. You know this means a lot to these two guys.
I tell you what, today's for 5. This guy right here, Robbie Loomis, what an amazing job, man.
I thought you guys weren't even talking to each other yesterday in that first practice session.
We were talking, but you didn't want to know what we were saying. But what a just great effort, man. I'm so excited.
This way.
Woo! Yes.
How about the debris you hit, Jeff?
Oh, I thought it was all over, man. I saw Martinsville flash in front of my eyes again, and I thought we were done. And I hated it for Matt Kenseth that he hit it because he had a strong car. He was coming on and said it was going to make a heck of a race out of it there, and I was able to hold those guys out there at the end. But I want to thank DuPont, Pepsi, Lay's, GMAC, Chevrolet, Haas, EDS. Who else do I have to thank? But it's just an amazing day to win at this speedway. I can't even describe the emotions going on right now. It means so much to have the support of all these people here. I don't get cheered very often, and it's awesome to hear these cheers here in Indianapolis. Just a very, very special week and day for me and this entire team.
Just one more quick question. Had that piece of debris been there for a while, Jeff?
As far as I was concerned, it was there longer than it should have been because I hit it. It was just right in the groove. I don't know what it was, but it was big. I ran it over. I thought we were done. I thought it got the right front and the fender, and then I looked at my mirror and it looked like Matt had gotten it too. So, man, I don't know how we pulled that one off.
You're going to make out with the bricks?
You bet. Absolutely.
Jeff Gordon wins. Dave?
With Dale Jarrett now at the beginning of the race, or before the race actually, you told me you could win. Are you disappointed with second?
Well, yeah, you always want to win, but Jeff had the best car, and congratulate him on a great run. The other guys did a fantastic job with this UPS Ford, and I just want to thank Mike Ford and Doug Yates. What a great engine we had today. They just put a lot of effort in there, and thank my teammate for not running over me when I cut him off there about the last 4 or 5 laps. He could have easily knocked me out of the way, but we both had good runs. We got the Robert Yates cars up in the top 3, and certainly we'd like to win. This is a great place to race, and before I get too far, that's another $7,500 for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation from Ford Credit. And now I have a real reason. Before, we've been asked a lot about, is there anyone in our family that this has affected? And I have a first cousin, Debbie Rocket, who lives in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that's going through chemo right now. So we wish her the very best in her fight against breast cancer. And a good friend of mine, Dr. Jim McGarry, out in Phoenix, Arizona. Just let him know and his family that we're thinking about him. He's got a few health issues, and Jim, we're thinking about you and praying for you, buddy. And say hi to all the UPS employees. They make this possible, and everybody at Coca-Cola, Ford Motor Company, and City Financial. Thanks to everybody.
Marty?
What a wonderful day for Elliott Sadler. Was your teammate kind of holding you up at the end?
I was a little bit tight behind him, but I'm so proud of my Robert Yates race team to get both of us in the top 3 like this. We had one car better than the team. The 24 was strong all day. I got to congratulate Jeff Gordon on his 4th Brickyard, but I'm so proud of my M&M's race team. For Teca drivers never done hardly anything in the Brickyard. To come qualify 3rd, finish 3rd. They did a great job. I'm just as happy as I can be right now.
They finished 3rd. They were never worse than 6th today, Alan.
Elliott Sadler with a great performance at the Brickyard today, and we check the final standings as Jeff Gordon and crew drift their way toward victory lane from the yard of bricks. Gordon with his 4th win here at Indianapolis and his 5th race in 2004. Tony Stewart winding up in the top 5 today. Good job by Greg Biffle in a backup car to get all the way up to 6th.
And we see Bobby Labonte back in 15th. A great rebound for him.
Matt Kenseth wound up 18th. Remember running 2nd, but he ran over that piece of debris late in the race and thought he cut down a tire.
I can't wait to see the points.
I know.
Seeing all these guys, it's going to shake things up.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. 27th, Mark Martin 25th. Both ended up with flat tires on that last 2 laps and ground around to cross the checkered flag. And some of the drivers who dropped out and had troubles. Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, 36th on the day after an engine failure.
How about Ryan Newman, 8th in points. Can't afford that.
And Jason Leffler, first out of the race, finishes 43rd. Here they are.
All right.
Look at that. 97. It was 232 first to second. Ryan Newman falls to 10th place. And now the big numbers with 5 races to go in the race to the chase.
I bet it's close.
How many points is he at? 31 back. Casey Kane, Jeremy just 32, and Dale Jarrett now just 55 back.
And even though Mark Martin had troubles at the finish, still only 123 points from 10th place. So the Brickyard 400 is over. Jeff Gordon is about to receive the winner's trophy. And next Sunday, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series is on to the road course in Watkins Glen. We're on TNT, starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green at 1:30 Eastern. All new Dateline tonight on NBC at 7/6 Central, followed by Law & Order Criminal Intent and Crossing Jordan. Dominance today at Indianapolis for Jeff Gordon. He wins the 2004 Brickyard 400.